now.
The Self Love Show. You know how the story goes.
Great.
It's the Self Love Show.
As always, we have a very important video I'd like you to watch. The Silverback More Growth and Development platform video, which we're building the Self Love Nation of. And as always, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. Change isn't just a campaign slogan. It's the heartbeat of our nation. Let's turn promises into tangible progress, one community at a time. Once again, change isn't a campaign slogan. It's the heartbeat of our nation. Let's turn promises into tangible progress, one community at a time. And that is by my co-host, 9 Millie.
Yeah. Why not? Huh? Why not?
Silverback More Growth and Development platform. Number one, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number two, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And three,
Hold on, let Kareem do.
accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen. And number 10, protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Because if you can't protect yourself, it's going to be difficult to protect anyone. You know, a wise man, DX, said, would you rather be a warrior in a garden or a gardener in a battlefield?
Yeah, DX, I think he got that from Sun Tzu, I think.
Did he? I don't think he ever quoted Sun Tzu. No,
It's
I've
somebody.
read,
It's
I've
not,
read,
and it's
I
not
Ching,
quite. It's not quite.
and I've read, what's his name? You're right, though. You're right. It was Confucius or some damn body.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. They said, would you rather be a?
Yeah. Is he plagiar? Is he Donald Trumping? I mean,
no.
His wife?
I don't think he's ever tried to come off as he created it. He just said it.
I'm gonna have to go back to the polo. You know, beta noobs. I have to go back. Sworn he said it. What's his quote? All right. Big ups to the noob. All right. Yeah. Change isn't just a campaign slogan. It's the heartbeat of a nation. Let's turn promises into tangible progress, one local community at a time. You like that?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, if y'all missed last week's show, you're not going to be able to catch it. We're in dispute with the Gestapo at YouTube. Big ups to the Gestapo at YouTube. Yeah, we did the first two in the series, and we had absolutely no problem, but I guess I played every single word this time, so they got to send it to Joe Rogan's team, and he's going to go over it and see if he likes all the nice things we said about them during that podcast, and Joe Rogan's team gets to make a decision if that video gets to go back up. But man, it was some great stuff. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't think that's yeah.
All right, well,
I wasn't very unkind to his guests, but you were
going in on Rogan a little bit.
Yeah,
but you were pushing back, so he should, you know what I mean? That should stand for something. And he's a free talker and a free thinker. You know,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd let somebody use the show and then talk crap.
I would.
Well, I guess it could because it's fair use because
Yeah.
it was exactly fair use.
Yes. And especially if there was balance, like we didn't pile on. You know what I mean? I said
Yeah.
something, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, it depends on the crap they're talking. I wasn't talking about his kids or his family or anything like that.
No.
You know, I called him a spook.
Yeah, I mean,
Potentially.
I'm just saying, like, who? Well, never mind. We'll leave that alone.
I guess if he is a spook, well, yeah, you're right. Well, I went in on his guest too. That was the thing too, and never mind. Yeah, good luck with that. I think Self Love is right, so I'm not counting on the Rogan's team to see it our way. Hey, you guys, there's a poll that's up. If you guys can participate in that, the question is: Black Americans, and that's in quotes, should vote. And the first option is Harris. The DNC is less racist. 17% said right now vote Harris. 33% right now are saying vote Trump. That's twice as many respondents right now and saying vote Trump over Harris. 50% you're conscious, best locally. So it's hard to predict. You know, a lot of them could be voting Harris. You know what I mean? Because maybe that is their conscious. You understand what I'm saying? Or they think it's their conscious. 0% you ain't black if you're not dim, and then yeah, so that's where we're at so far. You guys got to the end of the show to have your voice heard on our TATN straw poll. Right now it looks like the Dems have a lot of work to do, so you can look at it like we're dumping on them, or you can look at it like we're helping, because all that crap they're ramming on the TV. Let me be the first to tell you guys, a lot of people aren't even watching that nonsense anymore. A lot of this generation, they're on TikTok and other places like that. They're not going to sit there and listen to all that nonsense, sit there and say I was elected vice president, and before that I was elected senator, and before that. And so if I told wifey she wasn't never elected vice president, you know what I mean? I'm just fact checking. I don't think nobody even elected Kamala to, well, I don't want to. I'm neutral today. All right. Paid pundits, Shilless Presidential debate featuring everyday U.S. blacks, quote unquote blacks. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to, we only got one video in the essence of time, so fair use, CBS Boston. This one's Ismail's Calling. Ismail's Calling. And I'll be texting the guests.
Well, this was a wild sight to say the least. Well, this was a wild sight to say the least. A whale jumping out of the water and then capsizing a boat off the coastline of New Hampshire. That crash sent the man on board flying into the water.
Two teenagers on another boat captured that incredible incident on camera, and they tell WBZ's Mike Sullivan it was something they will never forget.
Wow.
You know the risk when you come out here. It's really unusual what happened to us this morning.
Greg Packett and Ryland Kenny were fishing off the waters of Rye, cruising out no different than now, only then their boat hadn't been capsized by a whale.
Thankfully, it was slow enough that I could kind of swim my way out away from it before it completely capsized.
Colin and Wyatt Yeager were fishing nearby when it happened.
We saw it come out a few more times.
The whale was feeding off pogies below. Colin had his rod in one hand, a phone in the other.
It's just unreal, completely unreal.
He snagged a striper on his line right as he hit record on this video.
Yeah, all of a sudden, bam, right there.
The whale leaped out of the water, cresting over Greg and Ryland's boat.
He just happened to come up. He had a mouthful of fish coming in and just crashed down on the back of the boat.
The bow rose into the air, submerging and rolling their boat.
Not much time to react. And so I took a few steps up and basically did a Superman off the boat.
It took Ryland several frantic moments to even find Greg in the water.
I honestly think, I didn't think we were in the water a minute, or, you know, if that.
That's because the two boys came to their rescue.
It was just kind of instinct. Immediately just kind of started driving over. I didn't have a line in the water.
Wow.
Both men made it out safely. The boat and their belongings, not so much.
Oh yeah, I tried to find my iPhone. I wanted to see where it was, but unfortunately there was no signal, so.
You have been watching our ride back
it's
to
in
the
the whale's
scene where it
belly.
all happened.
Oh, there he goes. There goes his back.
The whale still hasn't left.
That's the one thing we got to realize is this is their home. It's their ocean. So, you know, we're in their way.
Probably there
We
first.
drove out here.
You
I
think?
don't think you had life vests on, and then as soon as we saw the whale again, now you have the life vest on.
Yeah. I'm always gonna have a life jacket on.
So should anyone willing to cross its path again. In Rye, I'm Mike Sullivan, WBZ News.
It looks like one of those toy boats that just goes whoop.
You see people on kayaks with whales around and they don't freak out. Now they might freak out.
Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, they call him Ismail. There's a lot of that going on right now. A lot of these whales, Brother Wordsmith, are jumping up on boats. Like a lot of them, bro. Like first they thought it was an accident, and now it seems like it's not. Like so they said they had some young vagabond whales, just like kind of what goes on in community renegades. They started just doing that. It was like a game to them, and then now the other. Guess what the young ones did? They learned how to do it. Yeah. That's part of their thing.
Hey, they said it had a mouthful of fish, and it was just happened to. I don't think it just happened to.
No.
It didn't look like it just happened to, but I don't know.
I was trying to get to the fish, and that thing was in the way.
They
And I'm gonna get you out of the way.
they are extremely blessed individuals because somebody was there to scoop them up.
You ain't lying, bro. Oh, you ain't lying, because they
That
don't
shit
look like
go
they were very
down.
well in shape.
You
to
see how
swim.
far they are out?
Yeah. Sitting there
That
looking
whale
at
to be
their
there like
phones.
that?
Yeah.
Whew.
No life jackets on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess they are blessed because they weren't. We wouldn't know anything about this at all. Nobody had no footage, and they would just never made it home.
Yeah. Yeah, well, at least they help, because most people today from those guys' generation, they just film the whole thing. They film it all the way out till he drowns, he swim out to sea, like the lady that rest her soul that had the heart attack at the health club, and everybody was staring at the phone. Yeah,
that was older people too. That was just yeah.
Shilless presidential debate here for you today. Today's debate is featuring all quote Black African-American men, end quote. We'll do the women next month. And Brother Pender, appreciate you being here. We're going to keep you muted and keep your camera off, keep you chilling in that cream room. We're about to start up in less than 3 minutes. We're waiting on Wakil and Brother Newman. I just hit them both, so still got a couple seconds. All right, Self, the dome teaser.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get to the dome teaser. And I'll drop it in the chat for anybody who thinks they're smart. All right. Let's see here. Anybody who thinks they're smart.
But this panel's, can probably get it.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear this debate tonight, bro. Because I need it. Okay, hold on, gentlemen and ladies. I am going to put the thing in the chat. Okay, we're live here. Okay. So there is it. And let's see. It's in the chat. I'm a debate where truth takes the stage. No pundits or shills. Hey, we're going to keep you in the cream room, Brother Pennant. We need Pat, too. We still need Pat, man. Shoot Pat a text. I'm a debate where truth takes the stage. No pundits or shills. Just voices engage. Everyday U.S. folks enraged and real, discussing the issues that matter, the issues they feel. I'm a debate where truth takes the stage, no pundits or shills, just voices engage. Everyday U.S. folks enraged and real, discussing the issues that matter, they feel. Who am I is the question. And let me tell you, this was created by none other than ChatGTP. We'll give you to the end of the show to matriculate. If you think you know the answer, there's no penalty for wrong answer. Just put that in the chat. I may or may not clown you. Well, we're going to be respectful today, so I'll stay consistent. So yeah, your mind's a terrible thing to waste. So let's go ahead and work on that. Normally, Tori figures it out by the end of the show, but if not, I'll be sure to get you guys the answer. All righty. All right, Brody, we do got a video. Enough of the appetizers out there.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
Appreciate you. Hey, Club, KP, can you reach out to Pat for me, bro? Appreciate you. Got about 5 minutes. And you can do it too. If you got moonlighting.
You just
that was it.
Yeah. What, could you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, Brother Newman, we're gonna leave you in the cream room until the show starts. Appreciate you being here.
Wakil here too.
Yeah, I see Wakil jumped in the building. We need hey Wakil, we're gonna leave you in the cream room until the show starts very shortly, bro. Appreciate you. Stand by. We need one more. Charles, I can't mute Charles. He came in here with an unmute potential. Well, he's normally respectful. Oh, he's just connecting audio. All right.
Oh, what the
Go ahead and
hell?
run that video, Ken.
Because it's playing in the background, and that, you know, Karen didn't put it up.
You guys, we have an intern, Karen. She's always calling the cops. If you got a moonlight in you, it's only one light, and it ain't inside me. It's only one light. Some black stuff on the screen, Karen. And it ain't inside me. God is everything except for me. Let it be. Let it be. Nobody's singing songs like that.
Breach the Capitol. We can't even get approved at Capital One.
Did you see DL Hughley?
Think about winning an Academy Award. We are a little bit out of touch in Hollywood when it wasn't really popular. We talked about AIDS when it was just being whispered. Called the Patty McDaniel an Oscar in 1930.
DL went on a rant. We had it, and he ain't dementia. Anybody say he ain't running the country, they don't know what they talking about, and we gotta vote.
President Biden has had the legislative agenda that would rival FDR.
Wow.
Well, touch me in the morning and then just walk away.
The very next day, that man stepped down and said he was unfit to do the job.
So you have openly people advocating for a president to give up the power of the bully pulpit and the incumbency, which is ridiculous. I think that I interviewed the president a few weeks before the debate. Obviously, he's an older man. Obviously, there's no disputing that. But let's be clear. The Democrats should be focusing on what's at stake.
We have breaking news here. President Biden has announced he will stand down from the race.
Well, touch me in the morning and then just walk away.
Next week, we'll want to put together a panel. Ideally, it'll be 3 people who are going to. The question is, why should we vote Dem versus any alternative?
I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything about politics.
I just
know that I love this man. I care about this man. It was painful every day to see.
3 words. Fab, you love him.
And but the challenge yourself, you cannot. Well, it'll be a question. Tell me why I should vote for such and such without mentioning the other side at all. Right? You know, if you wanted me to join your gang or your fraternity, you're going to come to me, but the other side, because they all goofies. But the other side, and that's how, I'm not going to say any name, but they wore blue and white. That's how they would try to recruit.
He did the right thing for this country, did the right thing for this party, and I hope that we take a moment to honor this man and to love this man. I love Joe Biden. I appreciate what he's done, and a lot of people are heartbroken today. Even if it's the right thing, it's still just horrible.
3 words. Fab, you love him.
And we're going to have you articulate an argument of why we should vote, and me and you are going to be the strategy guy, and we're going to, mute people. It's going to be respectful. We're going to demand that. It's not going to be any name calling, nothing like that. Have a professional debate, and hopefully somebody won't be suffering from early onset dementia, because I'm not going to sit there and watch that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to contact his wife or somebody who loves him and say, "Getting you out of here. Get him off the show." You know what I mean? Can you let them know why I just got them up the show? Because it's painful to watch. And we're not outing who you're voting for. We're going to have a disclaimer in the beginning. These guys are just, arguing this way or that way. Yeah, I think that'll be a great show.
Definitely should bring out some great talk. That's for sure. Some great talk. It'll be some interesting conversation on that.
Unaffected by big media.
Hey, bros, what's going on? This is Cotton. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Do you still have them? Got mine.
Got mine too. Stand up strong. All right, Karen. All right, y'all. So the purpose of our podcast, this is born out of watching for 9 minutes, George Floyd, rest his soul, who's now an ancestor, get kneed out right there for everybody to see, with everyone watching, citizens watching, and everything like that. This isn't a show that vibrates hate. We vibrate love, but we have been on the pink people's ass ever since, because silence is violence. So we just speak our truth, shield free. Is that fair, Self? Is that a fair assessment of what we're doing here?
Yeah, I mean, we're elevating our consciousness by providing love, information, and inspiration. We are also aggregating a whole lot of truth.
Data. You sound like your ship, my purse, Leandro. You said aggregating. Look at this guy.
Yeah, and it's going to be put for us for now. As long as this venue is able to be perceived.
You better stop aggregating me. He aggregating me.
No,
you aggregated.
No.
All right. So that's where we're on, y'all, and we're caramel colored first. This is all about the more growth and development video we ran, and we're chronicling our story as opposed to history. When you let that hunter, until the lion becomes literate, the story always benefits the hunter. And we're leaving something to Brother Wordsmith's point for the progeny. There's a lot of data that we're aggravating here. We're aggravating the algorithm because that's what we've been doing. And now, as far as the debate rules, maybe we should go ahead. I'll introduce you guys shortly. Yeah, let me get the panel here, but I'll introduce you guys very shortly. But as far as the debate rules, you guys, I know you're back there waiting. All guests will be provided 3 minutes max for opening and closing arguments. The moderator, myself, the Terminator, I'll create a rotation if you guys haven't already amongst yourself. Response time, I said 2 minutes. I mean, we'll set the timer at 3 minutes. Go for what you know. And the timer will be employed. All non-speakers will be muted. So don't be offended. Any brother that's older than me, we don't need any disciplinary action from me just because you got some sort of pen rank. It's all universal. We're all citizens of the universe. All non-speakers will be muted. If you'd like to interject and or rebut, raise your hand right here in the chat out there in the Zoom link accordingly. Any wanton disrespect, we'll tolerate smug if you want to smell your own farts and stick your thumb in your bum and pick your nose and stuff like that. We'll tolerate that. But any name calling and stuff like that, that's not going to go over very well. I can already tell everyone here that. And none of these gentlemen will do that very well. I can tell everyone that. So that'll be swiftly handled. So we'll give you a warning first, and the next time, unfortunately, I got to boot you. And then, when the smoke clears, we'll still be able to fellowship together, because that's how men do. All right. Outside of that, Karen, if you could start opening up the panel, I'm going to let everybody know just who we're blessed enough to have with us. You see, that's the important thing, because this is not just any panel. This is the Self Love Show's panel. All right, let's see. Say, Karen, are you getting their cameras on? All righty. Let's see. Ask to start video. Okay, you guys. So as they're popping in, we'll let them do a short introduction. But before they do that, I'm going to go ahead and just let y'all know who we got in the building. So we're going to start off with Team Democrat. We've been faithfully voting for that party for obvious reasons since around 1967. I'll get into the history later. So we'll start with that. So we are lucky enough to have Brother Charles Newman in the building. He's a big science background. You know, scientists, look at him back there. You know, he's in the spaceship right now. Also, he works with the government too. So he makes sure, you know, your water is reclaimed. His hometown is Chicago. Also on Team Dem, we got Kareem Pender. He's an administrative educator in the city of Chicago, born and raised there, low end too. So we're getting a great cross section. Also, Chicago Defender, Man of the Year recipient. Now, they mentioned Charles Newman has done some stuff in science that I can never remember because I'm not a scientist, but he's created chemicals that's helped your government keep you alive. We'll put it that way. And then we got Dan Johnson in the building. I actually knew this young man when he was in high school. I don't even think I knew he was going to be going to U of I, but I think I told him something like, if he does, he might have mentioned it, and I told him to go ahead and pledge Noop. And he is a beta Noop, and he's currently a marketing guru for Big Google. All right, so that's Team Dem. And then the Team Blexit, which is Black Exit, that team, we're going to start out with Minister Wakil L. His hometown is Chicago. Another, I believe, low-end recipient. A representative. I'm not 100% on that, but he's a DJ. Goes by DJ Obatala. He's also an entrepreneur and a community activist, boots on the ground type of cat. And then we have on Team Blexit, Brother Pat Pender. I just can't say enough. He sat with us on this show, education guru, specialist, lifetime educator. But the things he's doing with young men and young women, like he doesn't, I guess, use the typical board of education type of style, but has a special way of contacting and getting into communication with the children and improving their school, their studies. So big ups to him on that and a yo. And then last but not least, the co-host, Brother Wordsmith. He's going to be the last one on Team Blexit. We were looking for one more guest, but you know how that goes. Y'all cats are high achievers. There's a lot of stuff going on. So we got Brother Wordsmith, and I can assure you, because he's my club and because he's a co-host, he's not going to get any kind of special treatment here. If he's disrespectful, he's going to get one warning, and then after that, he's going to be booted off of the show. All right. So, all right, y'all. So, if anybody, we'll keep it organized. Brother Newman, I want to start out, y'all. We'll start out with your opening statement, and I'll start with you, Brother Newman. But before your timer start, you can talk about anything you want to promote if you want. But then, or you can just hop right into your opening statements. Just let me know. And I'm changing this to speaker view, y'all. It's going to be a lot more easy. All right, Brother Newman for Team Dem. So we're doing the opening statements. And if there's anything I missed in your intro, anything you want to clean up, feel free. Once you start, I'll start your clock. Ask to unmute. And everybody else, Karen, make sure everybody else is on mute, please. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. I really don't have an opening statement. I just came to participate in the platform. And I've been a lifelong Democrat. And mainly, I got into the Democratic Party based on my parents. And I've always been a part of the Democratic Party. And I've always aligned myself with their policies because I'm much more of a liberal than a conservative. So it kind of aligns with my way of thinking. And you also have to have somebody that aligns with your way of thinking when you want to get things done. It's much easier to convince someone to be on your side when they have the same lines of thinking than somebody who doesn't have any lines of your thinking. So that's pretty much my position at this point, and that's about it.
Okay, brother, and appreciate you being here as well, bro. Appreciate you. All right, so now we're gonna switch over so we can flip-flop it. We're gonna start. We're gonna get someone off Blexit. So let's go ahead with Pat. Hey, Pat, if you like are promoting anything up front, let's get it out there with that. If there's anything I butchered on your introduction or you want to add or delete, let's do it. And then go into your opening statements. You got 3 minutes.
Pat here?
I thought I saw Pat. Pat's not here? Ken, we're gonna have to call Pat. All right, we're gonna have to call Pat.
No.
We're gonna have to call Pat. Okay, Pat's not here. We gotta call Pat. All right, okay, then let's start with Wakil. Wakil, we're gonna start with you on Team Blexit. So anything you might be promoting or anything you want to add or delete from that intro I gave you, and then you got jump into your opening argument. You got 3 minutes.
All right. Everything you said was correct. Thank you, first and foremost, for the opportunity to be here. Can y'all hear me? How about that?
We got you loud and clear, brother.
Okay. Just want to make sure because I'm in my vehicle. And I am from the low end, from Ida B. Wells. And what I am promoting Ancestor Echoes. And we shall be doing another event in September, I think September 22nd for the autumn solstice. So we try to recognize our ancestors by doing different events to praise them and to praise the ones that we haven't talked to, and of course the ones we always talk to. We welcome any and everybody out to it. It's a music fest. It's free. Just in the park this time. It's not more so of a fest, just in the park. Got certain DJs coming out. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat because I can't fight. It's ridiculous to pick the lesser of two evils. I'm more on a Republican form of government than being a Republican or a Democrat. I want that part back. So sort of like what Trump say, but I don't trust him. That's my argument.
All right, great opening statement, y'all, and support Ancestral Echoes. I know Brother Pat, when he jumps in, he talks a lot about the ancestors, a whole lot about the ancestors. All right, we're gonna switch back over to Team Dem real quick. Team Dem, let's go ahead. Let's see. Let's get Kareem in the building. Brother Pender, if you'd like to, clean up anything I did on your intro, please do that. Anything you might be promoting, now's the time. And then after that, hop on into your opening statement.
First of all, I want to thank Big Yo to Brother Mills and Brother Smith for hosting this forum and inviting me to be a part of it, and all the other brothers that are on the call that's a part of this discussion. I appreciate gaining additional knowledge from you brothers as we move forward. Kareem Pender, the Chief of Family and Community Engagement for Chicago Public Schools. I head the Parent Education Program for CPS. I'm from Robert Taylor's, born and raised Robert Taylor's, 3919 South Federal, the last red building on State Street. And this isn't a debate about Democrats and Republicans. This is a debate about good and evil and about what do we project to our kids, our grandkids, and within the Black culture in America. In 2016, Barack Obama spoke on the behalf of Hillary Clinton at the Democratic Convention, and he specifically stated that Hillary Clinton was the most qualified presidential candidate to ever run. She was more qualified than himself, more qualified than Bill, the most qualified candidate, but the country was not ready for a female president at the time. 2024, Kamala Harris is by than Hillary Clinton. Hence, it presents her to be, in this date and time, the most qualified person to ever run for the president of the United States. That being said, Donald Trump has been the least most qualified candidate to ever run for the position of presidency. This is key because when we promote to our children, our grandchildren, and the lineage how to prepare themselves to do the job that they desire, that they seek, and how the world measures their qualifications, the voting Donald Trump in 2016 was hypocrisy. And to avoid that hypocrisy, once again, we must ensure that Kamala Harris is the next president. And it is key that the most crucial ingredient to this existing is the Black man in America. The Black man has consistently showed the lowest voter turnout in this country in key presidential elections. And if Kamala loses, the Black man will be held responsible from every entity across this country. So I formed an organization called the Brotherhood United for Investing in Kamala. And this organization's purpose is to amplify Kamala Harris for president to ensure that African American women, African American men, any other race, any circles that you are in, you have to project the responsibility of the Black man to cast their vote, first and foremost. Secondly, to cast their vote for Kamala Harris, because it is crucial for the Black male vote in any Black organization or group to reign supreme in the support to the sister in this election.
Well said, well said, well said, well said, brother. And I want to say you guys can chat in the chat, use that chat if y'all want to, between teams, you could just chat to like particular people to help. So to help you guys like, scheme up. Well said, good brother. And I don't know if this guy, like, I was in college with him and we were on the yard and there was a lot of like different sororities running around and females and stuff. I wasn't into that. I was just studying and playing basketball. That's all I cared about. But I'm not going to say he might have a thing for AKs or if that has anything to do with how he feels. But I'm just having a little fun. All right, Brother Wordsmith. Come on in here, bro. We need your intro, and then if anything you want to clean up on my intro for you, and then your opening statements, and you got 3 minutes, club.
Appreciate everybody for being here. Didn't really expect to be part of the panel. And as I am independent, I don't stand with either party, but one party has been the seed of racism in this country. They've been behind the Ku Klux Klan, and many other things. They've run a lot of the government, and they have posed as liberals, or maybe they are liberals. I'm not sure. They ask for your vote and tell you what they're going to do afterwards. Then that means nothing. You get nothing. Not that the other side is any better, but just not sure how to approach this, because there's been a lot of things done by the party that is supposed to be good that's not. And other party started off as supposed to be good, you know, Abraham Lincoln and the brothers that were in office and got office and achieved office. Just food for thought.
Okay, appreciate you, good brother. And this brother also hails from Chicago. I didn't mention that he's a Southeast sider. Just so y'all know where he's coming from. So these are all, Chicago, and these are pretty much, black men, so-called black men from the city of Chicago, which is a very strong, probably one of the most bluest regions in the world, if you really think about it. It's a concentration of blue voters. So this is quite interesting, to say the least. And I appreciate y'all with those opening statements. So some of the things Brother Wordsmith was just talking about, if y'all bear with me, a short history of the Democrat. The Democratic Party was founded in 1828. It's the oldest party, political party in the world. It's also, let's see, the Republicans were founded in 1854. And it was founded in the North by forces opposed to the expansion of prisoners of war, which we call chattel slavery. It was founded by ex-Whigs and ex-Free Soilers. The Republican Party quickly became the principal opposition to the dominant Democratic Party and the briefly popular Know Nothing Party. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. We got to bring that back, so. Oh, yeah, know nothing. Oh, no, no, no. All right, and then we got the Southern Republican in every state. African Americans formed the overwhelming majority of Southern Republican voters from the beginning of Reconstruction. Black conventions and newspapers throughout the South had called for full civil and political rights. Radicals led efforts after the war to establish civil rights for former slaves and fully implement emancipation. After unsuccessful measures in 1866 resulted in violence against former slaves in the former rebel states, radicals pushed the 14th Amendment for statutory protections through Congress. In the 1930s, copper-colored adults were just as likely to support the Republican Party as the Democratic Party. The share of Black adults who affiliated with the GOP started to decline in the 1940s. So that's around the time my mom was coming into this realm, particularly after President Harry S. Truman, a Democrat, issued an executive order to desegregate the United States military in 1948. The shift was solidified after the passage of the Civil Rights Act under Democratic President Lyndon Baines Johnson in 1964. Today, only about 1 in 10 copper-colored adults identify with or lean towards the Republican Party. And in a Pew Research Center survey in October, only 4% of Black registered voters said they would vote for the Republican candidate for a United States House seat in their district, while 69% said they would back the Democratic candidate. So I wanted to just kind of provide that history of, why we shifted, I mean, it just seems like we were voting for like stuff. Again, the views expressed in today's podcast are those of the hosts and guests and not necessarily reflective of TATN or any affiliates. Furthermore, tonight's guests are merely arguing either side of their choosing. However, the stance that they are arguing for may or may not be who they actually support. We respect their rights to privacy and privacy of the poll. All right, so I'm going to start this one with Team Blexit.
Hold on, Dan.
Oh, Dan. Yeah, my fault, Dan. Damn. Thank you, brother, Wordsmith. We're going to keep you on mute, too. That's your first warning. Stop cutting in. I don't want you feeling comfortable just because you're the co-host. But my bad, Noop. All right, we got Dan Johnson, Google. He's coming from a younger demographic. And Brother Johnson, pardon my misstep. Good Noop, if you could clean up any intro I gave you, and if you're promoting anything, let us know. And then once you start your opening argument, I'm going to start your 3-minute timer, Noop.
Cool. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for the invite. I would say on my end, I like to promote 2 different nonprofits based in Chicago that I sit on the board of directors for. One is titled Utmost You. We help underprivileged Chicago teens attain post-secondary education. So whether that's college, whether that's associate's degree, bachelor's degree, etc., we strive to give the resources to make those dreams attainable. And then another board that I sit on is called Powers to the People, in which we work to bring back renewable energy to the inner city neighborhoods of Chicago. And I would say this, not much of an opening statement on my end, but I do come from, very humble beginnings. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, grew up in London town, and from the people that I've met, from the things that I've been exposed to when it comes to public education, when it comes to lowering taxes per se, when it comes to, as it seems, making our cities safer for our youth, all of those things tend to bring me back to the blue state, which is, the Democratic Party. And even as I've got to grow within my career, I've got to sit down with a bunch of Democratic senators. I actually know Kamala Harris' new running mate, and from my own perception, it's been nothing but great things. And sitting in the younger demographic, it's no question that undergrads now and even recent grads are growing up in one of the most expensive times in American history, with inflation, with the housing market, with taxes, with the loss of jobs. And from my own POV, it seems as if the Democratic Party has our best interests at heart, but I'm completely open to being changed to that perspective. So thank you all in advance for the dialogue we'll have tonight. Maybe we'll leave this debate and I may rethink what I've, opened this statement with. But for now, in my own POV, I truly believe in the Blue Party and very hopeful, for a Kamala decision come this November.
Man, well done, brother. Well done. And I can assure you guys, in London town, when he came up, there was nobody from London out there. I can assure you of that. But well said, man. Sounds like you're an independent to me, but I'm not gonna, prejudice anybody here. That's what it sounds like to me. But everyone should have an open mind when it comes to these issues, especially us as a community. And then whatever we decide to do, to your point, hear it out, and then we all move as one. That would be the ideal situation. So, Brother Johnson, I'm gonna start with you, man. What is it that you want from a presidential candidate to earn your vote? Which candidate or party more closely represents that? And you're gonna have 3 minutes, brother.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. If I sat down and think about, values that matter to me as a young man, especially living in the South now. So I'm from Chicago, but I live in Atlanta, in which Atlanta is not Georgia. So Georgia is super red. And, the things that I'm seeing in my community now, I would say it really comes down to maybe 3 key policies that I'd feel very comfortable if my president either believed in, or if her running mate had a previous stance within this as well. I would say hopefully the will, or the want rather, to lower taxes. I would say B, investing in public education. So, I went to CPS school, I went to Lynn Bloom, I went to TDLA for If I come to Morgan Park, then Bloom, there are a few teachers in my family, and I see all the hard work that they put in, and how they value their jobs. And even on the board of directors that I sit on, more affordable education is always, a proponent of what we're striving for. And to me, those things bring great value. And also, I want to say this. I think our president, in a perfect world, our president and our local government should be in lockstep. So I vote blue for our mayors, for our governors, for our senators, for our House of Representatives. But it's no secret that if the presidential party and the local party differ, then it'll become very, very difficult to even get things signed off. So to me, it's important to have that unison in which, okay, if I'm voting for these things that the Democratic Party value, and if the president hopefully also value those things, then in a perfect world, we will see alignment between the things that I want to happen, that hopefully our community wants to happen, and that eventually gets signed off. What I will say though is I think it's no question that Kamala, she has entered the race at a later state, so we haven't had the chance to really hear her quote unquote policies. But again, I know personally her running mate, and I know the work that he was doing in Minnesota. And from my own POV as a younger Black male, I truly believe that he has my interests at heart. And the fact that Kamala chose him, to me, tells me that she also hopefully has my best interest at heart as well.
Man, well said. Well said. If you taxes, you want taxes? You want lower taxes?
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right. I'm with that. I'm with that. All right. We're gonna flip over to Team Blexit, and I'll start it out with Brother Wordsmith. And Brother Wordsmith, you got 3 minutes, but you can rebuttal to that, or you can just no, you can't. This is not a rebuttal type question. Right. Brother Wordsmith, what is it that you want from a candidate to earn your vote? Which candidate or party right now more closely represents that? 3 minutes.
Wow. I need a candidate that's actually going to be a representative of what his constituency wants. I need a candidate that's going to more than entertain and put some thing in a Senate committee that never is getting out of there about reparations. I would like a candidate that's not going by the model that has failed us for a long time. Not saying either of these candidates is that, but this is ideal we're talking. It's time for a different route, a more righteous one. Yield my time.
Appreciate that. Reparations, man. I thought I was gonna get through this whole show without somebody saying that. When you said reparations, man, that damn near pissed my pants. All right. Let's go to. We gotta go. Well said, good brother. We gotta go back to Team Dem, and let's go with Brother Pender. Brother Pender, what is it that you want from a candidate to earn your vote? Which candidate or party most closely represents that? You got 3 minutes, club.
The candidate that most represent, what I want from a candidate specifically is I want a candidate that has the experience in governing, meaning that once you become the president of the United States, you're the leader of what they so-called consider the free world. And being able, you can't learn that the objectives of the position on the job. You have to come in with multiple years of experience in what's required of a president. And so being able to govern the country in these very turbulent times, in these very racially motivated times, being able to give structured strategic solutions to what our country is facing at an economic level, what our country is facing at a social level, what our country is facing at an educational level, being able to put together an administration, meaning that the people around you are able to bring in the experience and the resume to handle the objectives of the different offices of the United States government as a whole. And the person that has that experience is Kamala Harris. Donald Trump's presidency was a farce. It was a television show. He learned, nor did he gain anything while he was in office. He's there to rile up the middle to lower class economic Caucasians in this country, to have them believe that they have a cause and a mission, that they're fighting to regain a country that was never theirs. Kamala is presenting a platform and an agenda with lived work experiences. So she understands how to put together structures, processes, and procedures that support an overall educational system, that support a governing structure that's looking to bring about resources and actual engaging with international countries at an experience level. Donald Trump is pretending that he is a television show host as he looks to implement processes and procedures that put our country 50, 60 years behind to where we have grown and built ourselves to be. So someone who's, and lastly, someone who is really first and foremost, because Barack did not do this and no president before Kamala has done this, put at the forefront the African American male agenda. What is needed for African American men in this country at the work level, the educational level, and building structures of support for Black men, because some of the most important areas in the world, when you define an actual culture of a particular race, you look at the arts, you look at the education, you look at
Please
the
wrap it up.
economics.
That's your time.
Black men are at the bottom of the totem pole in many of these areas. So who's going to provide the resources and support to the Black male agenda in this country?
Well said, brother. Well said. Well said. I like that. I like that. I know my boy Ice Cube sat down with them with an agenda. If y'all catch that, we broke that down on the Self Luv Show. Ice Cube broke down something for, the Black man. All right, well said, good brother. All right, so that was Team Dem. So I think Wakil L, good brother, what is it that Minister Wakil L wants from a presidential candidate to earn your vote? Which candidate right now or party more closely represents that? You got 3 minutes.
I gotta first and foremost say neither one. Not for the people I know. I can't say yeah and nay or yay to either or. Like I can't do that. Like they say, when you know better, you do better. I remember taking the Constitution the 8th grade year, and I remember taking the Constitution again and like my junior year in high school. You don't have to be a citizen, you can be an ally. I'd rather be an ally. So, and I've been an ally. I don't vote for him because that means I'm voting between the lesser of two evils. I'm on a republic form of government. Like I didn't break any laws unless I hinder you, harm you, or do anything to your property. So I can't say what they can or can't do because for hundreds and hundreds of years, it looks like the same Roman type of ideology. I really can't go along with that. Again, you know better, you do better. I had my only honors class ever was history because it ain't changed. And once you did, you deep diving into yourself and deep diving into your ancestors, you know better. This was designed for them, not us. The world knows that. We don't even want to know that. I got a good scenario. I'm gonna let it ride. Watch this. I went years ago with a friend of mine. We went to a car lot and we was gonna test drive these two cars. He went to go get one. I was getting one to just test drive, right? Expensive car lot up north here in Chicago. There was some Ukrainians. We gave their IDs. Dude say, hey, what is this? Hey, Pops, come here. He told his Pops, come here. He gave IDs to his Pops. Pops, like 80-something years old, took it to the back. We didn't know what was going on. We knew we were going to rob us. We ain't got nothing on us. He was like, hey, you know, I've been around the world and you're the first people. I've done a lot in my day. And you come into my establishment, you're the only people I know that know who you are. He said, what is wrong with the rest of you? The world is waiting for you all to stand up. You're not African American. You're not black. All of that is misnomer, which I've said a long time ago. It's a misnomer. You don't hear anybody say that they're Polish American or Chinese American. No, you. My man came on and just said about the president. Excuse me, brother. I can't remember your name. You said about President Barack Obama. Another statement that he said, I'm the very first Kenyan president of the United States. He didn't say black African American, however you want to chop it up. He said first Kenyan. That's a nationality. Puerto Rico's got a parade. Irish got a parade. You can go on and on and on. What's your nationality parade? It ain't black. You go around the nation.
You got 1 minute. I mean, your time is up, but wrap it up.
All right. If you're going around the nation, you say black, they're gonna walk away from you. I'm out.
All right. So, all right, y'all. All right. I'm gonna ask Brother Newman. Imagine like you're in a candy store, because if you can't tell people what you want, they can't, you know what I mean, get us out there to the polls. So, what is it that you want from a candidate to earn your vote? Which candidate or party, as of now, more closely is representing that, Brother Newman? And you got 3 minutes.
Okay, I don't think my video is started. But can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you to start it. And you can leave your video on. Nobody can see you until you speak. I have it in speaker view, Nope.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I think first of all, and this kind of aligns with what I was saying earlier, in order to earn my vote, there has to be more of an alignment. The platform must be along the same lines that I conform to. I need my government leaders to be along that same line. I need them to be in a state where if I have to sway or persuade them, I want to have someone who is more aligned with the way I think than the way I don't think. If they're halfway there, if they're all the way there, that's fine. But if there's not a snowball's chance in hell that they will serve my needs, I don't want them to be a part of someone that I would vote for. I'm also looking to the future. I want those powers that are going to be in office are the same powers that are going to determine the Supreme Court justices. And right now, the justices, there's so many conservatives on the bench. And I need more liberals, because sooner or later, that justice is going to have to vote for something that maybe is going to determine my destiny. And what I want to do is to have someone in office that's going to be able to put more liberals on the bench than conservatives, because I really believe that conservatives do not serve my interests as a person of color in the United States. That's all I have.
Okay. All right. All right. So he wants, well, I'm gonna go back and look and figure out what all y'all want. But that good Newt mentioned the platforms, and that's a good place to kind of go here. If you guys could pause a bit. The Republican platform, as of now, the positions of the GOP have evolved over time. Currently, the party's fiscal conservatism includes support for lower taxes, Brother Johnson, gun rights, government conservatism, free market capitalism, free trade, deregulation of corporations, and restrictions on the big labor unions. So I guess they can reinstitute slavery. The first statewide Republican convention that formed a platform and nominated candidates was near Jackson, Michigan on July 6 and 54. At that convention, they opposed the expansion of slavery into new territories and selected a statewide slate of candidates. The Democratic platform, as of now, the party favors a mixed economy and generally supports a progressive tax system, Brother Johnson, higher minimum wages, Social Security, universal health care, public education, subsidized housing. It also supports infrastructure development, clean energy investments. Someone mentioned clean energy, Brother Johnson did, to achieve economic development and job creation. Also, gay rights was mentioned, women's rights to choose, not mentioned in this research I did. It was once before known as the Party of the Common Man. The early Democratic Party stood for individual rights and state sovereignty, Minister YKOL, which would be more towards a republic, and opposed banks and high tariffs. Boy, we've come a long way. So at that, unless anybody had any comments, we're going to take just a short break and then we can come back and conclude this. But if any, and Karen, get ready, because we're going to take like a 6-minute break so we can stretch our legs. And if y'all got any rebuttals, maybe y'all should be taking notes. If there's anything y'all want to comment on, we can get to a place, somewhere at the end if we have time. So any comments y'all want to make, have at it right now. Otherwise, Karen's going to take us to halftime. And to love yourself is to love others. To love others is to love yourself. And so if you don't speak negatively in your mind and out of your mouth about yourself, it's going to become next to impossible to do that about someone else.
Once you realize the science of self, because we're all part of the same being, and we're cells of the Creator, and we should treat each other as such and accordingly.
And know that words and thoughts are vibrations.
They are things. They are actual things. They exist. Yeah, and people feel them whether you know they do or don't. Whether they know you or don't. It's all in the vibe or vibrations.
Yeah, but if you got a calcified third eye,
it's still stuff you feel.
All you want is product. I'm not denying it. I'm just saying, there's a lot of calcification out here.
Yeah, they still feel it.
What advice would you give to a young silverback interested in your profession?
Definitely don't be discouraged, because I know I was, especially with the company like Google or other tech companies as well. I think it's easy to fall into this cycle of imposter syndrome, right? Like where you think that you don't belong. If I can talk to any young person, I'll tell them like, you are enough. You're doing the right things. You deserve to be in whatever space you are in. And now that you're here, make sure your voice is heard. And then I will also say networking. Networking is literally the key in my opinion. You never know who you might meet on the streets, at the store. And if you have already existing connections, make sure you keep up with those. You never know when opportunity may present itself. And also hold on to your mentors. And once you have a mentor, be sure to give back. I think it should be a cycle.
Social programming, man, is off the chain, and we witnessed it. You know, we got to see it firsthand. You know, I often say that hip hop went from having fun to scholars to selling drugs to thugs to doing drugs.
And to literally drive-by mass killing women and children in the neighborhood. Like, that's okay. Killing the elders, shooting up the block, that's all good stuff. The drug raping, all of that stuff became the cool thing to do. And then the mass materialism, and that kind of started during our era.
Yeah.
You talk about all these brands. I didn't know. We didn't know nothing about half these brands that you could copy, Macy's and Nordstrom and all of that stuff. If some rapper hadn't told us about it. You know what I mean? So then the next step, if you ain't got a job or you don't have the means to get it, then what you gonna do to get those goods that we couldn't afford? You gonna sell drugs. You gonna do what you gotta do to get that stuff.
What advice would you give to a little homie with limited resources?
76 and Phillips in Chicago, they called it Terror Town. They told you don't turn your back to the streets because you're gonna be kidnapped and shot. I was a director of a youth center right on that corner for 7 years. I had students that came to me on a daily basis, Mr. Pender, I'm not going to college because I don't have the academic foundation to survive. So these young men and some young women were coming to me like, I'm not going. And the only thing that you can do is be an encouraging force to these folks to let them know that staying in school is your only option to survive what you're going to have to face in the world. So whether you do it at a trade level, whether you do it at a college level, talk to your teachers, talk to your counselors, your mentors, connect with someone at a youth center, someone in the school that's going to invest and put the time in to find you some level of support.
But did you ever meet Chief?
Yeah. I know.
That's love. That's love. Free Chief Malik. I'll say it.
Hey, look here, man. I was young. You just see faces all the time. See faces all the time.
Yeah.
See faces all the time.
Yeah.
I see my uncle jump in a ride and go pick people up and come down the street. You see faces like, so when you get older, like.
Right. Oh, you be like, oh wow. Right, man.
Doing the turkey drive, they gave out lunch food. They took care of us, man. You know, they took care of everybody in the neighborhood, man. Like, see, that's the bad part. That's the bad rep because they did this stuff on purpose to help us. And then those that didn't like us, the European descendants, didn't like what we were doing or they were doing for us as young adults, kids, elderly.
I travel around and I get hit with Chicago is a violent town and the violence is perpetrated by the black race. I think the media amplifies violence in Chicago and makes it seem like people can't walk out their homes without being shot, stabbed or killed. The majority of black people are law-abiding, sensible, nonviolent people. So all this crap about this violence in the black community that is overtaking everything in our city is just a bunch of bull. Because most of the people that I know are law-abiding citizens and they are not into that stuff. You have a faction, but it is definitely not the majority of the black race.
In that faction, their beef is usually contained amongst themselves.
Man, thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. It don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the black community, for real. Like people look at us to be fuck ups. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and
where you at, Pat?
And all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Hey, well, bro,
They're so ignorant.
Hey, but this platform's your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it,
This platform is
It's
made
for you and me.
It's made for
The
you.
crazy
Ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble, but go ahead, bro. All right, Brother Wordsmith. You're on.
We do it for our people. Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show. To expose it on
Brother Wordsmith. All right, y'all, welcome back. We got the second half. We're going to kick it on off. Yes, sir. All right. Hey, this question you guys didn't prepare for, so you don't have to answer it. But I'm interested. This was sent to me by Eddie Murphy's brother.
Charlie
So,
Murphy. Not Charlie. Of course not Charlie.
Yeah, R.I.P. Charlie. Vernon.
Yes, R.I.P. Charlie. I'm not.
Yeah, something going on with your camera. It just says TWS whenever you show up. So keep your camera on, bro. Everybody can keep your camera on. As long as you're not talking, they won't see you. It's on speaker view. But here's the question. How do you tell someone that the Democratic Party is not the party of the flesh, and do not mention anything about the Republican Party? So he's asking, how can you essentially tell him that the Democrats are not Democrats without mentioning anything about what the conservatives are doing or not doing? Does anybody want to take that?
I can say a couple of things. Party of slavery, party of Ku Klux Klan, party of the welfare system, and the party of the...
He's saying, how can you convince him that they're not that?
Oh, I don't know how to do that, because once you look into it, I'm sorry. My bad. I misunderstood.
That's good. The question was worded tricky. It took me a while to get it. Maybe Team Dem, nobody. All right, well, we'll ask the chat.
Yeah,
how can you tell
my bad.
Huh?
I said, my bad.
How can you tell someone the Democratic Party is not the party of the flesh without mentioning the Republican Party? Nobody wants to touch that. All right, y'all, back on it. We got some more stuff for y'all. Can't kill the music. All right. Please like, share, subscribe. Y'all hit that thumbs up. We appreciate everyone being here. This is part of our research, so that we're not just blindly going to the polls and giving our votes away. One thing that occurred to me, we're the strongest demographic when it comes to, voting as a block. And that could be a gift or a curse. It's like having the same DNA, and then one person gets a disease and then everybody gets the disease and dies. So if we're all supporting what's right for us, then it's brilliant. It's but if we're not, if we're all just not supporting what's right for us, then it's deadly. So I'll start this one out. We're going to start with Team Blexit. No, we're going to start with Team Dem. I'll start with you, Brother Johnson. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Kamala Harris's dad is half Indian. This question was sent to us by Archie Bunker, by the way. Big ups, Archie Bunker. Kamala Harris's dad is half Indian, half Irish, but he's a Jamaican national. All right, so half Indian, half Irish, living in Jamaica. Her mom is Indian. She did not marry a Noop. I know she was at Howard. I thought that was a black college. But she was raised in Canada. So this is for you, Brother Johnson. Why is she all of a sudden considered a Black American? Is she not like us? Why or why not?
I mean, I think it's a fair question and also a good question. It's something that I know amongst my friend group, we also argued this literally yesterday. And I think it really comes down to having a diverse heritage background. you're right. I think when she first won senator, her stance was, I'm the first Indian senator. But, with that, I've also read that her father had some actual Jamaican descent as well. So I think she's a combination of those things. And you're right, she did go to Howard. She didn't marry a noob. But, I think she also was a Kappa sweetheart too. And she also played JKA.
Yeah, she
So,
was Kappa Sweet.
yeah. So, I think we have the tendency to, I don't want to say nitpick, but we look for things that we might not deem as 100% accurate, or we might not agree to how she views herself. But I think Brother Pender said it earlier, and even race aside, with the way our country is going, we're literally on the brink of war. I feel confident, and I want somebody that has experience and has validated experience in being in that seat or close proximity to it. And the 4 years, that Trump was president, in my opinion, it was also a joke. So I feel way more confident, going into these next 4 years, with all of the economic turbulence, with all of the uncertainty that Kamala, could be the commander in chief, regardless of her father's descent, regardless if her husband was a noob, regardless if he's black or white. Um, my voting stance is aside from race. I don't even believe in voting for someone just because they're black. I truly believe in doing the research of what their values are, what their POV of what a president should be. And again, I'm very confident that Kamala has that best interest at heart too.
Hey, well said, young man, young brother. Well said. And he got in under the time. So I'm going to push this off to Team Brexit. This one will be for Minister Wakil L. There's an old saying, all skin, this question was sent to us by Archie Bunker. There's an old saying, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Kamala's dad is half Indian, half Irish, Jamaican national. Her mom is Indian. And she has married a non-caramel colored pink. She's raised in Canada. So why is she all of a sudden considered a quote unquote Black American? Is she not like us? 3 minutes.
I think it's all a hoax. Real, to be honest, if I can get you to argue what you are and you still don't know who you are, I don't care. I can keep you right there because you don't know who you are. And if I can get the world or the United States, your citizens, people abroad, people with the same pigmentation, melanin, to argue the same thing, I still got you stuck. So it don't even matter. All us, it doesn't matter. Like, again, I gave it earlier, like African American, Black African American. Though it's on paper, it stands for nothing. It stands for nothing. Like, vote for it, that's fine. Like, at the same time, she is part of the puppet concert. And still, until you say who you are, just be a national. Say who you are. You can be anything. You don't have to be a citizen. If it was already a right, why vote it? Have it make it what? I got to get permission? I'm not liking it. I don't like it. Never liked it. Don't taste good in nobody's mouth. But you don't know no better. Because you see your skin, you run to it. Again, all our skin ain't our skin. Deep within. May look like it, but it ain't. Guarantee you that. That's why we're in the same predicament. He said Barack didn't help us out that one time. He did not. He wasn't supposed to. It was his agenda. It was never his agenda. Bible agenda. Oh, I can't even say that, can I? No. to make us look like, okay, oh, we helped y'all out. We got you somebody look like you in the office, and we still running it. It don't matter. We got to crash it. Nothing personal. I love the sisters getting all these positions all through the country. Congresswoman, mayor, captains in the police departments. You know what I'm saying? Everything, sergeants, everything. I love that. I honestly still think it's for naught at the end if you crash the system.
15 seconds.
Hey, it is what it is. I'll be judged on what I be judged on.
Hey, that was well said, good brother. You made some fantastic points. All right. Very fantastic points, G. I want to get this over to Team Dim. I'll throw it at Brother Newman. I'm sure you've heard the old adage, sir, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Kamala, dad is half Indian and half Irish.
Yes.
In Jamaica. Her mom is Indian and she's married a white man. She was raised in Canada. Why is she all of a sudden to be considered a Black American? Is she not like us?
Well, we first of all have to look at the United States of America, and we realize the overwhelming racism, bigotry, and discrimination. It is first and foremost our racial divide that keeps us separated. Black Americans are really a new race of people, and race is purely a misnomer, the same as the white race. These are American terms that help divide and conquer people living in a melting pot of skin colors. Our immaturity will never allow us to reach racial equality as long as we concentrate on our differences instead of our similarities. This is first and foremost. Even before we bridge the gap of economic inequalities, we have to bridge the gap of the racial divide in this country. That's it.
All right, Brother Wordsmith, coming behind that. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Y'all know Kamala's half her dad. Y'all know the demographics. So why is Kamala Harris all of a sudden being considered a quote unquote Black American? Two-part question. Is she not like us? I know it's a loaded question against the Democrats, but I had to ask it because that's what the police wanted me to ask y'all.
Well, I feel that everybody they put in position to be president is a shill, propped up individual, probably along the same bloodline, almost every time. I don't know line by line. I look and listen. She's so-called Black when it's appropriate to be, but will tell you to your face, she ain't gonna do shit for you or me. I'm sorry that she's expressed it as such, locked up people that was not guilty, held back evidence on others who wasn't. But I don't know. Just some observations I see. But like I said, the other side ain't better. So what is it we do? How do we change something we need to see? How we put something together that's for us. It's either that or bust. Because you can't do the same thing over and over, getting the same results. That's insane. man, it's in the soul I trust. We must move forward. I don't know exactly how that looked like. We're riding the same train, thinking you're going to get a change. Like I said, it's insane.
All right. All right, y'all. Brother Pender, you've heard the question. I need you to bring this home for Team Dem. So why am I to consider the Kappa sweetheart from Howard a Black American? I mean, is this not the exact same thing that Kendrick Lamar is talking about with Drizzy Drake?
Man, good evening to all the
We got
participants.
another Pender. Yeah, you go ahead, bro. I was talking about Reem. What up? Hey, we got
Oh,
Pat
my
in the
bad,
building.
my bad.
No, go ahead, man. We'll bring your brother next, man. Go ahead, bro.
Good evening, everybody. Excuse my tardiness, had an emergency, but I wanted to keep my word, so I logged on. The question, is she like us? No, she's not. She is an AKA. Her dad is African American. She did attend a historically Black college, but so did other ethnic individuals. So because she's an AKA and because she went to Howard does not make her like us. And when I say us, I'm not talking about niggas that's killing each other in the street. Excuse my language. I'm not talking about people that's pulling down who we consider to be the Black population of America. In my opinion, the Black population of America represents the entire world. So because we allow ourselves to continue to be labeled and categorized, we're constantly like dogs chasing our tail until we acquire the knowledge to realize that we are successful. We are the richest people on the planet right now. We have money. We just don't know what to do with it. And the reason why we don't know what to do with it is because we're not educated. If we were educated, we would know that Kamala Harris is part of the boule. We would know that those organizations have been in existence for hundreds of years. And if they are planning 500 years in advance, how can you compete if you don't educate yourself? So we're going to talk about the last two presidents. We're going to talk about Barack Obama, and the last three, Barack Obama, Trump, and Biden. None of them did anything for any of us. And Kamala Harris is going to follow that same trend. She might smile in your face. She might have caramel skin. She might pour hot sauce on her food. But at the end of the day, she's not going to do anything for us. And when we realize that none of them are going to do anything for us, and we got to start our own, we'll be better off. The first government is a husband and wife and a family, and then the extended family. And if that husband and that wife is not financially planning for the future, they're going to suffer. If Black people or so-called Black people do not start coming together as their own government, as their own bank, as their own institutions, then we're going to continue to have to deal with Kamala Harris and all of the people that they put in front of us. But no, she's not like us. Do she deserve our vote? At this point, most people would say it's the lesser of two evils.
That's your time. So wrap it up.
Yeah,
3
the
minutes of
lesser of
question.
two evils. No, I don't think she deserves my vote. And my energy is going to go toward my self-government, starting with my family, then my extended family, then my block,
Pat,
so on and so forth.
hold on, Pat. It's 3 minutes per question, but I'm gonna do this because I do want to get your question on this, and then I'm gonna throw it to Kareem to answer that same question because y'all grew up in the same household, so this is great for both parties to hear and all the independents. But I want you to answer this, bro. 3 minutes, man, per question. I'll do deference. What is it that you want? What is it that you want from a candidate to earn your vote? And which candidate or party is most representing that right now, if any? 3 minutes.
What I want from the candidate that will get my vote is transparency. If you don't particularly have the same ideas and the same goals that I have, that's understandable. But where can we meet in the middle? And if one of those individuals can give me that, then I think they deserve my vote.
Okay. That's well said. Well said. And right now I'm taking it nobody's doing that. So one thing I asked is if I went to a white school, which I did, and I pledged a white fraternity, which I didn't, could I go around and tell Asian or white voters to vote for me because I'm black and because I got black people, you know, on stage with me shaking the bum. That's just me throwing that out there. But Kareem, come behind your brother, man, on that question. Let me go ahead and give it to you again without all the pre-stuff. Why is Kamala Harris all of a sudden to be considered a quote-unquote Black American, bro? Is she not like us? 3 minutes, Rain, 3 minutes.
No.
2024. What is like us defined as in this day and age? The Nation of Islam is not like us anymore as it was in its evolution. Someone needs to mute.
Good.
I got it, bro. Go ahead. My bad, Kareem.
The talented 10th that existed under W.E.B. Du Bois for the African American culture is not like us in 2024. Gangster Disciples, the L. Rookins, the Vice Lords, major street organizations in Chicago are not like us in 2024. So when you're talking about the African American culture in this country, it's not like us as it was in our younger generation and our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation. We have evolved to something that's not like us. With the mass amount of black crime that exists here in this country, the considerable amount of lack of education, the considered increase of poverty that exists on African American countries, the continuous divide amongst which side of the country that you live on. If you live in the South, you're considered to be evolving because you've made it through a higher level of racism and slavery. If you live on the West Coast, you're more multicultural because there are less, general African American families, because African Americans, which what folks don't even consider or conceive in Chicago, you have Latino African American families, you have Caucasian African American families, you have many different mixed cultures on the West Coast. So when you talk about what is like us, what is like African American families that exist in this world today? And Kamala Harris, as a educated at Howard Law School, grew to excel herself as a prosecutor in the state of California, grew to the vice presidency of the United States as a female. That's not like anyone in this country. I don't care if you descended directly from, if your entire lineage descended directly from African American slavery, you are not like African Americans within this country. So when you evaluate the totality of what Kamala Harris has evolved to, she's not like anyone in this country because she's leading as the first female president, regardless of what her race is defined. And African Americans has to start to engage themselves in a level where there's a true unity and definition of what is like us. Because if you ask 10 African Americans across this country, you ask 10 African Americans across this country, what is like us, you're going to get 10 different answers. You ask 10 Jewish individuals what is like them, you're going to get very similar answers. You ask 10 Asian Americans what is like them, you're going to get very similar answers. So African Americans need to start to unify to create a stronger bond to what like us in 2024 in America.
Amen. We definitely need to unify, and that's why we all here. Oh wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. All right. Wow. Okay. Okay. I know Brother Wordsmith covered it. Minister Wakil covered it. Charlie covered. All right, that's it. Let me just go through the chat real quick, y'all. If you want to reply, just chime in. Let's see here. If you care about your check, you better vote question mark.
I'm gonna get kicked off, but did Dan cover it?
I think he got booted. I think Brother Wordsmith got booted. I'm not sure. I muted him. All right. Liberal City, Chicago, don't give a D about you. You are on your own, 20 smash and grabs, and 40 people shot this past weekend. Aaron Boca says Black Lives MAGA. See what Aaron did there? Black Lives MAGA. And then Moultrie says because only CBLM, colored Black Lives Matter. I don't know. Eric Quotes Tell True Vision said all lives MAGA. All right, got some MAGA people in here. The VP is alcoholic with all them. Whatever. We're not gonna. Let's face it. All right, enough of the chat for now. Let's see where's sworn in. Okay, sworn in as an Indian senator. She black when she's in front of black people. I think that's fair. I don't know if any of you guys would have tolerated that in your personal life. I'm just keeping 100, but you guys tell me in the chat. We're all raised to be ourselves. I mean, you don't have to lie to kick it. Keep it 100. Everybody can respect that. I'm just here to get education at Howard. You know what I'm saying? I want to be AK, whatever. I'm not black. I'm representing what I am. Even if I went to a white school, which I did, and pledged a white fraternity, which I didn't. I guess I'd have no choice but to keep it 100. But if I was high yellow and I could pass, I guess I'd try. I don't know. All right, but that's not fair. I'm supposed to be neutral. All right, you guys, let's move on. Asian hate bill inked. So this is important for the Dems because these are the things that brothers want to know, and we got more stuff on our mind. I wish we would hear more about what we want, though. Asian hate bill inked. Kamala is on record, to Brother Wordsmith's point. I'm not going to do anything specific for black people. No, but of course, Brother Kareem Pender just educated me that she's working on a platform specifically for black people. I know I heard that before the last election, her and Biden were supposed to do that after they got voted in. That's what they told Ice Cube. Also, she's quoted as saying, "You ain't black if you don't vote for me." So how is this reconciled? I think it's only fair. I'll start with Team Blexit. Minister Wakil. And we're going to ask Team Blexit if you guys can please limit your responses to the questions on hand. And if once you finish, that can save time. You don't have to use all of your 3 minutes. Please just respond to the question. What is Kamala's platform for Black Americans, and what do you like about it? Minister Wakil L. No. My bad, brother. My bad. Wrong question. My bad. You ain't black if you don't vote for me. I'm not going to do anything specific for black people. How can that be reconcilable as a culture, or in your mind, how do you reconcile that?
I think her statement is correct. I think black people will vote for it because they think they're black, which is still part of the misnomer. Again, if I can keep you at the front door, occupied with the Girl Scouts, you're still in your microwave. I got you. You're gonna sit right. Oh, and you're gonna keep saying Hey, I would like to. None person. This ain't a challenge, but does anybody read Black Law's Dictionary? Do they know what the attorneys walk in there with, and what Black Law's Dictionary say what these certain words are? How do you keep claiming something that's dead? I'm not understanding that. So I think she's her statement. I think she's right. Only black people go. If you're not black, you're not gonna vote for them.
My bad.
Or
Never
vice
said
versa.
by Biden, bro. My bad. I misquoted. She said, "I'm not going to do anything specific for black people." No.
And she not. She not. Or the lack there is of she's gonna act like she did They're gonna put something in. It's gonna pacify you. It's like giving you another holiday or some shit like that. That happens quite often. I'm gonna give you a holiday. I'm gonna give you this day, or give you this day off work. That's what us non-educated lookalikes say. You dig what I'm saying? That's what they're gonna say. That's what they're gonna do, because it's beneficial to them. And it ain't beneficial to the masses, because the masses don't know. That part right there alone says a lot. We need to stay right there, man. You ain't gotta ask for a lot. We just gotta stay right there. Like, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Matter, we're made out of matter. Let's start there. How about that? So let's cancel that out. That black part, they're gonna do the color thing. The Most High didn't say that we are a color. If that's the case, we should have said bronze, because that's what the Bible said. That his feet was made out of bronze. So we're bronze people. Everybody from that side of the equator was bronze, not walked out the Caucasus Mountains or escorted out, helped out. This is foolishness. All of it. It's foolishness. Don't matter. Argue about, was she an Indian? I'm Native American. I'm Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Black, Jamaican, and from the Congo. I did my research. I got all that in me. I know my trail. The trails tell I know where my people came from. The Bantu people.
That's time. Please wrap it up.
We wrap. Peace. Hey, I love you, brothers. I love y'all for jumping on. I love you two brothers for giving us the opportunity to jump on, to shed some light on and perspective on what we like to do and what we like to be.
Hey,
Peace
that's
and
why
blessings.
we here. That's why we here, bro, and demonstrate. And your camera blurring up. That must be the ancestors. All right, I'm gonna shoot it over to Team Dim on that same question. All right, Kamala said, I'm not going to do anything specific for Black people. No, and I do remember Barack Obama saying something like that too. Pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? And I went on and voted for him because at that time I was ready to lead the party forever because I was pissed. But nobody cares. Nobody cares how the Black man feels as long as all the women are jumping around and wearing pink and green. As long as they're happy, nobody cares, which is weird. But I say that to say, I'm not going to do anything specific for Black people. No, Ace in the chat said we're still waiting on a bill that stops police from killing copper-coated people. We did have that Asian hate bill specifically done for Asians, which I haven't seen any Asian hate attacks since. So maybe that helps, but let me get off my high horse. This question is to Team Dim. How do you rectify that? And I'll start with Brother Johnson. How can you reconcile, I'm not going to do anything specific for Black people? No. Is Brother Johnson? Hold on. We got to unmute him. Did Brother Johnson leave? I think we lost Brother Johnson. Karen, can you check and see if we got Brother Johnson? Let me check my text messages. What the hell happened to Brother Johnson? Maybe he got booted. All right. All right. So we'll have to shoot that over to Brother Newman. Can that be reconciled? If so, how can I reconcile that for me?
Okay. Well, I don't know if it can be reconciled just on the words alone, because when someone says, I'm not going to do anything for Black people specifically, you have to, first of all, understand that when that question was phrased for a potential candidate for president, it has to be handled diplomatically. Now, I'm sure her knee-jerk reaction may not have been the best response. However, she is not campaigning for the president of Black America, colored America, whatever you want to call the people with melanated skin in America. No, she's campaigning for the president of the United States of America. And when we look at what can she do for Black people, you have to look at her platform and decide if the policies that she is proposing disproportionately goes against Black people. If that's the case, then surely she's not doing anything for Black people when molding policy for America. But you have to judge her on her policies, on her platform, and not necessarily just specifically what she said or did not say about what she's going to do for Black people.
All right. Well said, and thanks for that, brother. That's very helpful. Extremely helpful. All right, let's shoot it over to let's see, Pat. Yeah, let's go to Pat, and then we'll bring it to back over to the Dem side for Kareem. Pat. All right, I'm running for chancellor at I-State, and I say, no, I'm not going to do anything specific for Kappas. No. How can you reconcile that for me, Pat? Take yourself off mute. Oh, wait. My bad. Karen, take him off mute. Oh, my bad, Pat. Do it again, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you on.
I'm very disappointed in that chancellor. And I would be very disappointed in any public official that would say they're not going to do something for their own kind. You do not hear Italians, Irish, Japanese. The only people that do that is us. And when I say us, I'm not talking about Africans and Haitians and Dominicans, because they know who they are. The American Black or the African American or whatever label you want to put on them, they're the only ones that's like that, because we have been conditioned. There's no way a white guy from Indiana would say that he's not going to do something for white people. So any politician, any public official, Black, whatever, that says they're not going to look out for their own kind, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And we don't have to sugarcoat it or beat around the bush. Every other ethnic entity, person, organization is going to look out for their own. And it's sad that in 2024, we are still conditioned to do ourselves wrong or to turn our backs on one another just to appease somebody else. And that somebody else that we're appeasing, know they need us more than we need them. So to hell with that chancellor or any other public official that won't do something for their own kind. That doesn't mean that you're not going to do for others. It just means that you got there and it's okay for you to look out for your own kind. A perfect example of that was Harold Washington. Harold messed with everybody. He made sure the Polish got what they got. He made sure the Asians got what they got, the Latinos, the Caucasians, but he also made sure that Blacks got what they needed. And he didn't go around broadcasting that I'm going to give more to Black people than I'm going to give to somebody else. What he said was, I'm going to give everybody what they need. And that's what we need, individuals like a Harold Washington. He was for everybody, but he was strongly for his own kind, and he was well respected throughout the world for that.
All right. Well said, brother. Well said, man. And rest in peace, Harold Washington.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I believe he was deleted. And Brother Johnson, he's rebooting his system. So I don't know if he's back. If you're back, Brother Johnson, just let me know. All right, I'm going to flip this over back to Team Democrat. So since we're waiting on Brother Johnson, it's going to be you, Kareem. You know, you from the low, bro. Drop your low on the low. I'm not going to do anything specific for Beta Noobs. There's somebody running for the president of the BGC, and they want all the alphas votes, all the SED, all the other Greeks. They want the AKA votes, and somebody asked them a question about something the Beta Noobs wanted, and they said, "No, I'm not going to do anything specifically for Beta Noobs." No. How can I reconcile this, Snoop? Talk to me.
As I mentioned before from the previous question, African Americans have to start to generate some form of unity across the nation and building an agenda that supports the whole of our issues, our growth, and our concerns. So we're not going to wait for Kamala Harris to decide to do anything for us. We have to bring our platform to the floor steps of her administration and make them understand that our vote is what got her elected. And so once she clearly understands that the African American pulling their votes together is what put her in the White House, and it's not a request, it's a demand that she addresses the issues of our culture and our communities. And so we don't want Kamala Harris to feel as though she's doing us any favor. It's your job as a public citizen that our taxes pay for your position and all the positions of your administration, that you acknowledge what our agenda, what our platform, and what we want to ensure exists for our culture. Until we do that, Kamala Harris is saying, I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black folks because I'm unaware of what is it that needs to be done for Black folks. What Black educators are coming to the White House to ensure that there are resources and support presented to Black children? What Black economists are coming to the White House assuring that dollars are put specifically in programs that help uplift our small businesses and the economic benefit of Black communities? What Black legislators are coming to the White House ensuring that dollars are put into their states, into their cities, specifically earmarked for Black African American issues? Because the Latinos are doing it, the Asians are doing it, the Jews are doing it. So when are we going to come together as a whole with our agenda and not request, but demand these things are done for our vote? So Kamala is sitting back making these statements because the people that are addressing the question and raising the issues to her, they don't have a substance enough platform to ensure that she can never, ever, or any other presidential candidate can ever generate that answer towards us as a whole, because our vote is what forefronts leads us and presented at the origin of what exists. So we're not requesting Kamala or any other presidential candidate to do anything for us. We're demanding for our vote that our needs, our agenda, and our issues are addressed as a whole.
Well said, Club. You did it with 13 seconds left too. Well said. All right. Let's jump on. I think everybody on Team Blexit. I think that Self Love. Did you address this? You did. No, you did. Self Love. How can I reconcile? He's not back. He said he was going to get booted. Let me see. All right, we'll move on. Oh, there he is. Did I ask you that, bro? How can I reconcile the somebody running for president of the BGC council saying, I'm not going to, and a Kappa sweetheart, I'm not going to do anything specific for baby loops? No. How do I reconcile that?
I kind of addressed it the last time I spoke.
Yeah, you did.
That's why you went to the whole,
keep
it to the question.
No, that's fair. We can keep it pushing. All right, we'll keep it pushing. We'll come back to it if Dan ever gets his computer back. Dan ever gets his computer rebooted. I'll ask him that later. All right. So Brother Pender, I want to start with you because you mentioned this, and it got my lips poked out. I'm ignorant. So I've been ignorant, and I can say that up front, but I'm never dumb. What is candidate Harris's platform for quote unquote Black Americans, and what should I like about it?
Are you going with Patrick or Kareem? Just clarification. You can't say three club. You can't say Pender.
Can't say
it's
brother
all,
Pender.
it's all,
Can't say
inclusive.
nothing. No, this was for Kareem. Kareem, my bad, clubs.
I think Kamala, because she's just received the presidential nomination about 3-4 weeks ago, I don't think that she's fully vetted out and established her platform for African Americans individually surrounding the issues. But I think that she's open to meeting with serious African American groups and entities to help build that out. And I think that she needs some help in building that out because Kamala Harris has not, unfortunately, she has not um, taken to the stage over the past several years and just researched and kept up on the issues that specifically plague African Americans. But she's well aware in her vice presidency position, she's well aware of what the issues and the needs are. So I think that she needs to start meeting with specific influential African American groups across the country and start building that platform out. I think it's just around reparations, as that was mentioned before. I think that's a key entity to what needs to be rectified from 500-600 years of history within this country. I think that it needs to address greater resources and support around education for African Americans. And I think that also, I don't want to continuously buy into pitting Latinx and African Americans against one another. But when you have a surge of immigrants from another country that are not legal citizens of this country across America receiving resources and support that you have not seen go to the economical lower class of this country of African Americans, that's a problem. And so Kamala needs to address some equity for African Americans in several different areas of education, economics, housing, and building skill sets for long-term employment. I think those are the four areas that a starts needs to exist. And I think that if she's not open to addressing those issues in the first couple of years of her presidency, then she's going to find herself looking at being a one-termer.
I'll say this. And she married one of those news from Howard, she would already have a platform for for the brothers, you know what I mean? But she probably wouldn't be in this position either. But that's just the conspiracy theory me speaking. No one else has to address that unless y'all got something to add. If anyone's heard anything that candidate Harris has said specifically for Black Americans, I know Trump's been saying some stuff, but he lies about everything, I suppose. I don't know. So I was just wondering if anybody had picked up on anything, because this whole thing is about not just voting for a person because we don't want the other person to win. I've heard we were saving the democracy for any younger voters out there. We had to save the democracy because Ronald Reagan was Satan. We had to save the democracy because George Bush was Satan, and then George W. Bush was Satan. I mean, all of these people on this one side are real quick to call these other people demons, but then when the Nation of Islam does it, they get canceled. But like, it's always, Trump, Satan. We always got to rah, save the democracy. No, we got to save me. Save yourself. You want to save the democracy, save the Black man in this country that built it. In my opinion, because that's a resource that this country has been tapping into, getting rich off of, and they've been limiting, in my opinion, due to racism. Racism is expensive to any capitalists out there. All right, today's debate, we got a shield-free presidential debate. We're featuring everyday American copper-colored Black men. All right. If you got any questions, shoot them in there. We'll see if we can get them to you. All right. Okay, a vote for anyone other than a Democrat is a vote for Donald Trump. Is this true or false? Why or why not? A vote for anyone other than the Dems is a vote for the devil. Is this true or false? Why or why not? I'll start this out with Team Dem. No, well, because they're down a man. We'll start it out with Team Blexit and Wakil. a vote for anyone other than the Democrats is a vote for Trump. Is that true?
It looks like he's gone.
I'm here.
Yeah, all right. Well, go ahead, Pat. It's on you, bro, because we
is
lost it.
true. It is true because it's simple mathematics. Numbers matter. And whatever vote that don't go to the Dems is a vote for the Republicans. And Trump is a very dangerous man because he has his audience hoodwinked. It is very sad that we are in this situation, having to always choose a lesser of two evils, but that also points back to what we know. Many of us are so far back in terms of education, in terms of what's really going on in the world. It's important for the Democrats to vote. It is. And the reason why I say that, it is a lesser of two evils because America and the rest of the world is not ready for what Donald Trump wants to bring. He wants to take us back to 1914. That was the start of World War I. He wants to take us back to the Nazi era. And we're actually living in that era right now because 15 years ago, you didn't see a lot of people in the world calling Black people niggas or throwing up swastikas. But for the last 15 years, that has grown and it's continued to grow through Donald Trump's administration. And then Donald Trump would say, well, I'm not a Proud Boy, but you promote the Proud Boy image with your language, with your jargon, with the literature that you pumping out to these people. And it's all just to keep people off their square, to keep you hoodwinked, and to keep you going in different directions, to stop us from all going in different directions. At this point, we have to vote with one purpose, with one audience. And I believe if we voted with the Harris audience, it will be a easier struggle than the struggle with Trump because the world not ready. But this younger generation, this new millennial generation, they know nothing about having water hoses sicked on you or dogs sicked on. They don't know about the struggle. And when the realization comes, if Trump gets in and you got people walking down the street doing a German duck walk and saying hi Hitler, it's going to be a whole different look, man. America not ready for that. So I think we more ready to deal with shady Kamala, you know what I mean, smiling in our face, but also doing what she did in California, making these young men go to jail and supporting legislation that's not going to benefit anyone except for the penal institution and the continuation of slavery. Because we are living in slavery right now. We just don't know it. We looking at 2024, but it's really 1834. It's 1755, 1555. We so far behind, man. It's a shame. And one of the reasons is these damn phones. You got a whole generation that don't do nothing but swipe. Don't have no.
I think we lost him. All right. His time was up anyway. Hey, Pat, your time was up. Great job. We're going to get this over to Team Dem. It's interesting what he's saying, and it was just what I was saying, man. It's always what he just said. It's always that. And if y'all don't think the other side don't know that, so if the Democrats know that, they're like, well, they're just going to keep voting for us because they scared. Like, all right, so I'm going to get to the next question, which is just about what he was just said, but I'm going to keep going on this question until we get around it. But what he just said runs into the next question. All right, a vote for anyone. I'll just ask one person on the Dem side. A vote for anyone other than Dems is a vote for Trump. True or false? It's only Brother Newman and Kareem. So which one of you guys want to take that? Brother Newman, you want to take it, or Kareem?
I'll yield deference to Brother Newman.
Well, actually, Brother Pender can take that because I would just echo what his brother said. And I can say that in about 20 seconds. Because what we look at is that the premise is that we are mainly a two-party democracy, a republic, or whatever you want to call it. And it is simple math. If you have 20 people, 10 of them are Democrats and 10 of them are Republicans, and all 10 Republicans vote for Trump, and just one Democrat decides not to vote, well, there you go. 10-9. Easy math. Trump wins. That's it.
All right. All right. Well said. All right. And Brother Pender had already yielded. If you don't have nothing to add to that, because I want to hop to the next question.
Yeah, hop to the they all gave it to you, brother. I'm watching Gabby. I saw Gabby just win the gold in the 200. So
Big ups again.
Multitask.
Big ups. Migrant. No. Okay. Trump is Satan. What happened and or what words during his first term or during the first election cycle? Like, okay, I just heard the words that Brother Pender said. You know, they run around calling everybody the N-words. They ain't calling me that. You know, the Proud Boys, blah, 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 blah. You know, I ain't seen it. He's been president already. So they were just waiting for the second term. So my question is, what happened and or what words during the term or election cycle that's a reason to make sure that Trump loses this time, regardless of what the Dems do for us? I'm going to start that one with Team Dem, and I'll go with you, Brother Pender. Yeah, what happened?
So,
I mean, he freed some brothers and sisters out the jail, man. He freed the rapper. He's not foundationally black. Kodak Black, free Kodak Black. But I'm just saying, like, what happened during his first term? Because normally I got this fear, right? Oh, if this guy becomes president, and then you know Ronald Reagan, I think, was president for 2 terms, and I'm like, okay, so what's literally happening that should justify this fear? Like,
yeah, I mean, you know, Trump teaches hate mongering across the country based upon, you know, when you have these organizations like Brother Patrick Pender mentioned, the Proud Boys, when they're coming out based upon your skin color, your religion, and they're preaching hate and they're implementing violence, and you don't condemn them as the leader of this country, that's a problem. If you lend any equity to, well, I saw other facets attacking them as well, and you know, the insurrection that existed on January 6th, that's a problem. So when you look at the totality of Donald Trump, he has speared violence and hatred, and he's continued to attempt to threaten, you know, the voters of this country by saying, if you don't vote for me, if you don't vote me president, then this eruption of violence and this eruption of civil war is going to continuously be inflicted upon this country. So we can't, in this modern educated world, feel the need to, you know, use Gestapo tactic as a justification to, you know, get in our way. And this is the exact same thing that any dictator has done through our history when things haven't gone their way or the vote haven't manifested for their side. Then they want to raise up arms and implement violence towards a particular culture or species of government. And Trump has continuously shown this. You know, he's shown it during the insurrection. He's shown it when he threatened folks, you know, in Georgia, the recounting of the votes and, you know, trying to manipulate the governor to find him 12,000 more votes. You know, he perpetuates, you know, the injustice of what's so negative about his character in the first place. So he has 94 what 94 counts against him, where he's been federal counts against him that he's fighting in court right now. So his violation is huge. His bureaucracy is huge. his negativity that he's trying to inflict on, parts of the country that doesn't side or govern himself is huge. Someone mentioned about the Supreme Court. They're looking to overturn everything that has brought some level of equality to this country, and they're eliminating civil rights. They're attempting to eliminate, free choice of abortion, and these things are what Trump stands on and what he believes in. And so we can no longer allow this to represent our country at the domestic level or at the international stage. He's not qualified.
I don't know if anybody would say that, but that's fair, man. You got to say it because we're putting this data out here, so we got to be consistent. There's some in the chat by Ace. Big ups to Ace. He's stating that's the basis of this program to alert all that neither of these major parties has any interest in fixing our problems or the problems in this country that has anything to do with our people. I somewhat agree with that sentiment. Then what's the solution? They're going to keep just putting us lesser of two evils, and then we're going to be deciding factor in lesser of two evils until we decide to either abstain. Anybody who saw me at a meeting in our chapter, I was the king of abstention. I wish there was a record of that. They'd be like, this son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it was like, what's the point? But my point is, I'm independent. But my point is, what's going to propel them to do something different? Maybe if we all voted for Pat Power, and then they'd say, man, this Pat Power has the power. We got to go talk to Pat Power and see what those people who are voting for Pat Power, because the lesser of two evils is going to happen regardless. And I've seen it in my lifetime. I've had all the lesser of two evils in the office. I don't know. So I'm just throwing that out there. All right, let's get this over to team Brexit. One of you can cover this in the essence of time, unless everybody wants to cover it. So Trump is Satan. So what happened or during his first term, or so I've seen him as president and I was all scared of shit. And man, every day I woke up, I'm like, Trump president. Oh, fuck. And nothing happened in my mind. I'm just saying, talk to me, brother.
Well, I'm the only one here, so it's me. And I don't really know because I'm independent and I've been this whole thing is like a soap opera to me. So I'm kind of not paid attention as much as most. I know that, he was able to put in a couple of Supreme Court justices, but that is kind of significant to a certain degree. But I don't know. The system is not going as one would hope it to continue into the future, because it's not going to last long if it keep going how it's going. Just my humble opinion.
And so Brother Roachsmith doesn't know what has happened. So I figured if something happened that was so dastardly, I don't know, maybe we would know. I don't know. I'm just saying, like in the past, I hadn't had the evidence of, hey, when Nixon gets in, boom. All right, but migrant crisis, no one has brought this up, has been affecting economically distressed United States communities. I saw a lot of news of that locally by some of you guys in the news. What's you guys' stance on the crisis, and are you more in favor of how one party is handling the situation of the other? And I'll cover it for Team Brexit if we don't get someone else back. And it could be Brother Pender or Brother Newman. Migrant crisis.
Yeah, it's an absolute travesty. I mean, you looked several years ago, right before COVID, there was a splurge of Haitians that started to enter the country due to weather crisis, plagued with health issues, a number of things that was happening in Haiti. And they were immediately deported, arrested, sent back to their country without given asylum and without giving any resources of support in this country. And to allow the migrants who are not citizens of this country, who are not residents of any city or state, to come and immediately start to receive health care, start to receive housing, start to receive education, is a problem because you have a limitation on any foreigner that enters this country with their passport. They have a times constraint that starts immediately once they come here. And so to allow, you know, this to exist for migrants where you have not shown any substance level of resource support for mental health, citizens of this country, homelessness of this country, starvation of this country, drug use of this country, and to provide those resources directly to these immigrants and these migrants is a problem because I haven't agreed for my tax dollars to pay that. Many of my friends haven't agreed for their tax dollars to pay that. And for Trump to say that, you know, the migrants are taking the black jobs, that's racist and extremely derogatory. But there's some truth to what he's trying to say. What he's trying to say is, you know, poor people in this country that happen to be a large percentage of African Americans, the resources that we should be giving to you all, that should be earmarked for you all, is going to immigrants, migrants, and foreigners. And that is a problem, in my opinion. And I feel that the Republican Party will do a much better job of combating, you know, allowing immigrants to just cross over here from the border. And I'm only speaking for what's being evaporated from what I feel should be going to African Americans.
Well, I appreciate that, Team Dem. And this is why we're doing this, because we hope both sides can pick up on this. Maybe y'all in the chat can hashtag DNC and hashtag RNC and hashtag, you know, Black Puppets, because the Black Puppets got to start speaking on our behalf. But love that. And I'm just out here in it too, y'all. And yeah, I'm in LA. So yeah. Yes. All right. Well said. Let's see. So since we got Tori, so I guess I'll go ahead and take that. My stance on the migrant crisis, and am I in favor of how either candidate would handle the situation? All migrants aren't created equal. I feel like a majority of the people who come here, they're, you know, honest, you know, hardworking people. But if you have like say if you had 100 math, y'all were talking about math earlier. If you had 100,000 people from Chicago, you know, the poorest parts of Chicago on the west side, south side and the west side migrate anywhere, you can't assume that all of them, you know, won't be finessed, you know, that there won't be some finessers in the group. And let me tell you something, they're finessing out here. But on the flip side, you know, you got the Republican Party with their control of the blue line and the police and all that. You know, the police are standing down. So it's all political at this point in my mind. But I feel like, you know, a lot of cats who, you know, might not, you know, live in a community anymore. They might, you know, live in gated communities and stuff like that. They're probably not, you know, seeing the same thing that everyday people are seeing. Whether it's the poor whites that Brother Pender brought up earlier, or the poor blacks, the middle class blacks. And eventually it's going to be happening there, So I didn't know when I moved here. 1 minute, Brother Mills. I didn't know when I moved here that, I started talking to some of the kids in school, and we got a lot of educators on this show. These classrooms in the public schools are it's going to happen there. I mean, 50, 60, 70 people in a class. The teachers can't manage that. No one can. And then now, and I'm not making this up, your children, we're not putting brown against black, but it is what it is. They have to all run home from school and mob up together just to make it home safely. And then we wonder why they form gangs and stuff like that. I'll end it on this. In the poor communities, we had to mob up just to get home safely from our own people. This is a matter of poverty, and Dr. King had talked about that. But it's big on my list, and I think the Republicans scare the shit out of them more than they scare the shit out of us, and they would handle that better. So, Brother Newman, unless you had something on that, I'd love to hear from it. If not, we can push on when they got 3 more.
Unmute. Okay. Well, the migrants. Okay. At some point in time, most of us were migrants, whether by force or by choice. Now, I think that the assistance that the U.S. government is providing is way over the top. But that's not to say that we shouldn't help or we should covet all that we accumulate. But our economic structure is being strained by the generosity of our government. It appears that we just don't know when to say when. So it is out of control. That's all I have to say about that.
All right. You listening, Kamala? Are you listening? Man, because the Dems can easily win this election. They could easily win this election if y'all get off y'all horse and stop trying to force everything down Americans' throats because y'all live in the best parts. Y'all live on Pennsylvania Avenue and all of this, man. People are tired. They're going tired. And to Brother Newman's point, the generosity of the government is our generosity because the government doesn't produce shit. Excuse my language. That money is our money. Well done. I think Brother Wordsmith. Did you chime in on that already? The migrants, because it's right over there in your backyard. I know you're in South Shore.
Well, it's duly noted on the show how I feel about the whole situation, especially how it's going down in my town, my side. It ain't right. And if we so generous to help them, what about the people that's already here that need help? You can't just bypass the people that's already here needing help. It's the same area, homeless people that's there is still there. That's some people that ain't put nothing but just came here and showed up over some people that's living here. So-called citizens. Guess being citizen don't amount to much.
And a lot of them come over here with some of that same racism that's in these people that's already over here. And if I had, we don't need no more of that. Don't try to sell me that all these people coming over here and they down for us, because that is not true. I'm telling y'all. Most of them are. No, I can't even say that. I can't even say that.
No,
I can't even say most. Many of them are. Some of them are. I'll leave it at that. Some.
Yeah, that's a good
Yes, and those are the ones who are usually darker and were more indigenous. But all right, here we go. This is what I wanted before we get into closing arguments. And this is more for Brother Johnson because it kind of tugged at my heart when he was like, "Man, but I'm here for it." He wants, he's making more money, things like that. But
Brother
why should I
Johnson
vote?
gone.
Just turn your
My
camera
bad.
on, bro, because when or mute yourself, one or the other, because we're on speaker view. I appreciate you. All right. Why should I vote the way you guys are? Whether you're voting independent, you're voting for Trump, whether you're voting for Kamala, and if you can please explain why I should vote for Kamala or why I should vote for Trump or John Doe, without mentioning another candidate, because I've heard enough of that on all these different news cycles. And I'll start it out with Brother Newman. Brother Newman. Let's go with you, and then we'll go with Kareem.
Okay. Well, I think you shouldn't vote the way I vote. You should vote the way your political involvement compels you to vote. If you're on the sidelines complaining about government policies and yet you do nothing but complain, you need to be quiet and fade away into the American fiber. That's what you need to do. Your vote is merely just fodder. It may be detrimental to those of us who are actively trying to make a difference. And what you have to realize, the power is not in the presidency, but in the representatives in Congress and Senate that make all the laws, where the laws come from. And if you're not actively emailing your representative and telling them how you think and telling them how you want them to vote, then it really doesn't matter. If you don't do your due diligence to go after your representative so that you are represented, because that's what they're there for, and you don't do anything, you now leave it up to their own devices. And now they are highly susceptible to big money lobbyists that only make crucial decisions based on what's going to be best for putting money in their pockets. But I tell you what, these senators and congressmen will listen to you. If there's enough power going into their email boxes on a daily basis, they will listen to you, because they're more afraid of losing because the power of the people than the money that they line in their pockets, because then they won't have anything. So they will listen to you. Use your power to make those representatives vote your mind, not theirs. That's it.
Well said, brother. You gave me so many thoughts on that. We gotta start spamming these representatives. Like it's that guy again. I'm gonna be like a Karen, you know what I mean? You guys got to do something about all these people out here. You know what I mean? They don't even speak English. I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I don't know. They call me a Karen. All right. Brother Pender or Brother Wordsmith, why should I vote the way that you do? Think about the way you vote. And please explain without mentioning anything that's going to scare me about the other candidate. Let's see. Get asked to unmute. Asked to unmute. I'll take it if they're not prepared. I'll take it. So for all of the younger, anyone out there, how I would approach this, and I can do this in a minute or less. I'm not voting for evil. Can't, won't. Done it before, and feels cheap. I haven't seen any progress from either side. to say, hey, look, we hear you, we feel your pain, we've been on knees, been on your neck, we've trampled on your ancestors, um, reparations, coming soon. Since we got all this money, we skipped the question about the Ukraine and all this money for all this money going all over the world. They sit down and they quickly vote and send all this money everywhere. That's my money. And so if I vote for either of them, it's like voting for, I don't know, if there was a fraternity and they had pretty boys and animals. It's like saying, well, vote for the pretty boys because they talk to us better and they look better. Well, vote for the animals because they, whatever. They're all doing the same shit because they're all from the same organization and they all live in the same house, which is the White House or Congress. So we need some sort of outside person. I always find a person who, like, damn, everything he or she said is like, damn. And then I look at the polls, they only got 2%. I don't care. I go in there and I vote for that person. And my hope is that enough of us will wake up and do the same. And then they'll come begging for our votes because they need us more than we need them. And I'm just willing to prove it. I'm not voting for either who hates me. Can't, won't. All right. Kareem, I'm gonna throw it to you and then Brother Wordsmith, and then we're gonna do our closing arguments. I appreciate y'all time.
So brother, I had to step away for a second. Can you repeat
It's
the
why should
question?
I vote the way you are? So if you're voting Dan, if you're voting Kamala, right? Tell a person, not necessarily me, but why should I vote the way you are? And if you can please explain without mentioning any fear towards the other candidate or any mud based,
Yeah, mine is very simple, and I know Brother Johnson mentioned this earlier that he doesn't vote for a candidate just because they're black. Well, I do. I have zero problems with voting. If I knew nothing about Kamala Harris' record, I'm voting for Kamala Harris over Trump. I have no problem supporting African Americans and blacks over other races or cultures specifically because every culture in the world does it without question. And they're not going to give a justification for it. They're going to expect you to understand why they have done so. And so moving forward, similar to what our code was on the yard, regardless of if, Noosa or out of pocket or wrong, we're going to support you right there up front. Now, when we get back to the house and behind closed doors, there's going to be additional consequences and repercussions for your actions. But at the end of the day, we're supporting you solely because you are a Newt from Beta. I'm supporting Kamala Harris solely because she's an African American going up against a Caucasian. And his history and his lineage doesn't vibe with me, and hers does. Simple as that. And I can go into a plethora of Harvard, Yale, Oxford explanations to her record versus his and why she's a much more complete, fulfilled candidate. But at the end of the day, I am clearly over Donald Trump supporting Kamala Harris because she's a black African American woman in this country. Amen.
All right. She's African American. All right. All right. I gotta reconcile that. All right. Well said, good brother. Well said. And we appreciate that. And we only got closing arguments, but Brother Wordsmith, I don't know if you're going in there voting for Mickey Mouse or if you're putting the Honorable Earl B. Dickerson right in on your thing.
I've been on record for a very long time that, that I write myself in. And I can't justify voting for the lesser of the two evils, especially when we don't elect them. They're selected. The Electoral College decides, and it doesn't depend on the popular vote selective. It's just something that they do. So it's chosen before. They got the chosen few. What are we at, 46, 47? I don't know. What are we going to do? with a bunch of imperialists, all of them. That is true. They've all lined up like a soap opera. And that's what it is to me. Nothing gonna stop the procedures. Understand that many of us get paid off of their fuckery. And know that it leads to a lot of destructive shit that we see, we are witness. But it's just back to regular business. That's why all skin folk and kinfolk, a lot of them pretend folk, got a completely different status. Part of the whole democracy apparatus. Because we're supposed to be living under a republic. Yeah, my time.
All right, you got it in. You had 7 seconds left, good brother. All right, so before we get into our final words,
I just had one question for Brother Wordsmith, Chairman Mills. Just wanted to ask:
absolutely.
Is that write-in Torrance Smith, or is AKA Maceo Jimenez? As the
Pretty much Maceo Jimenez. It's Tory
or
Wordsmith. There's one vote for Tory Wordsmith.
Hey, y'all forgot Dick Wolf. Don't forget Dick Wolf. I don't know if you knew about that one. Dick Wolf, he probably forgot about that one, bro. We got Pat Power. You got to put Dick Wolf on there, so for your name on there.
Tory Wordsmith, like I'm being consistent.
Look at him.
Very, bunch of.
You still got that Dick Wolf in you. All right. Let's go on. In the chat, Moultrie said the Democrats do it as well. They hate rhetoric, cause Trump to be attempted assassinated. Tone it down, Democrats, tone it down. They did. Sleepy Joe is asleep. Tasia Sherrill, my lovely better half, said she agreed with Charles. So yeah, she's going to be sleeping in the garage today, agreeing with these pretty boys. And then we got H. Moultrie said, Sleepy Joe put in a black woman Supreme Court justice based on DEI, and she couldn't define what a woman is. I don't know if that matters to people, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It used to matter. Now it doesn't matter because of I don't know. Veterans that's homeless walking around have been forgotten about really bad after the migrant invasion. There's no country if we have no borders. Ace says, and this is the last one, the government killed off baby boomers with covert, and now they are bringing in the next poor and stupid workforce while putting the previous group in prisons. Glad he said that because I feel like both parties, again, it's two wings of one bird. They're both benefiting. The Republicans who pretend like they don't like it. Reagan was the first to give him amnesty, and many Hispanics, at least in this area, over close to 70%, really vote conservative. So their businesses profit from this because they're lowering wages and things of that nature. They're just pretending like they don't like it. And then the Democrats are benefiting now, I guess, because they want the votes. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I could think. They want the votes. All right. So that brings us to our closing arguments. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. How is my body, my choice different from a person hiring a hitman to kill a family member or kill his or herself? Anyone? All right, we're going to get to our closing arguments. So we'll go ahead and start with Brother Newman, and then we'll go with Brother Pender, so that way y'all can get out of here. Brother Newman, closing arguments, and you can take as long as you want, but the timer's going to 4 minutes. Ask him to unmute. There we go.
Okay. Well, as a closing argument, I don't really want to do an argument, but what I do want to say is do your due diligence. Vote the way you feel you should vote. Don't let anyone sway you into voting their way. You have to do your research. You have to figure out what's best for your situation and your family. And sometimes it's a matter of looking at the platform of the people that may come to power. And a lot of times it's understanding the political process when knowing that presidential edicts are changed all the time. One president comes in and wipes out what the other president did. They're just executive orders that can easily be wiped out. The things that stand are the things that are cemented in Congress. Those things stand. And those are the things that you should be worried about, other than the president who's going to be there for 4 years or so, or 8 years, or how many years. It's the laws that are going to govern your life for the rest of your life. And that's all I have to say.
Brother Newman, thank you very much, good brother. Man, for your time and sticking through. I know people bounced out for various different reasons, and I know all y'all are super busy, so I appreciate that. And y'all it's 10 o'clock over there. It's only 8 o'clock over here, so you can pop out whenever you want, good brother. But love, honor, respect, and thanks for the bond, good brother.
Much appreciation, Noop. Had to say that.
KK, the second greatest great debated line, the third. We're going to include the charter members, and then Kappa Ship, Relentless Resurrected Soul. So. Get your camera on, self. All right. So, Brother Pender, go ahead, bro. Your closing argument, sir.
It's very simple, very simple, very easy. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for the right side of things. Like, we cannot afford to have Trump voted in, or getting a second term based upon what actually existed specifically at the end of his term. The insurrection was a travesty. Trying to threaten government officials at the state level to switch to basically take away folks' democratic rights of who they chose to vote for. And so we can't have this display of disrespect towards the country, and just the government goes up into shambles. So he's not qualified. He's never shown himself to be qualified. He's not a person that, not to say that many others are, but he definitely shows himself not to be a person that we can trust and that we should support in the White House again. And to ignite racism and violence that we know exists already, to throw the on the fire is a problem. And we know we really have to not allow this guy, specifically just not allowing this guy to really be who he thinks he is. Like, he needs to be voted down, and he needs to understand that your 4-year fiasco is over. And we need to support, it's time. It's time for a female president, and I think Kamala is the most qualified candidate. She's the most qualified candidate for the job right now, and she's earned it.
All right. Well said, Club. And I want to echo those statements I said to Brother Norman because I know how busy you cats are. And y'all was a cold ass lion, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all did y'all thing, hit the yard hard. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit that yard hard, bro. So we appreciate you cats. Appreciate you sticking it out, man. It's a good beta noob does, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yo Club. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for having me, man. Yo, Tory Smith, 9 Mills, man. It's always a pleasure, Clubs, man. I appreciate learning and continuing to grow from you, brothers.
Yo. Love you, Nope.
Yes, sir. And I don't know, Brother Newman. Let's see. I want to say this: the views expressed in today's podcast are those of the host, guests, not necessarily reflective of TATN or any of its affiliates. Furthermore, tonight's guests were merely arguing the side of their selection. However, the stances that they may have argued or spewed today may or may not be who they will ultimately support. But I feel like everyone spoke from their heart, 100%.
Yes. Yeah, about at least 90%.
Yeah. My closing arguments myself is just she's not African American. I just want to fact check. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's it. I mean, don't tell me to vote for her because she's black and she's not.
Well, I mean, culturally, she's fraudulent in statements.
Yes.
That tried to bring her to grasp, like she smoked weed. Listening to Biggie and Tupac before they were ever out.
Well, she said Tupac. No, she said Tupac was the greatest rapper alive, and he had been rest his soul. He had been dead for like 17 years at the time of the interview. That's like ridiculous, bro.
She already said that she smoked to him too, him and Biggie.
Yeah.
And they weren't even out when she was in college when she said she was smoking.
Used to smoke to him in college. Yeah, it's a lot of
that doesn't mean
it means a
nearly
lot.
as much as her record, what she's did as a prosecutor.
And only 3% of the Democratic Party voted for her in the initial president cycle. She didn't even win in California, where she supposedly did so much for so-called black people after leaving Howard and taking someone's position in AKA.
She did so much harm in California.
I mean, if I talk to the brothers out here, they can't stand her, but somehow that shouldn't matter. I mean, you have to imagine if she was DA in Illinois and was doing the things, and don't forget, she was initially propped up and endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. You got one guy yapping and rallying up the white privilege and the base and scaring the hell out of migrants. And then you have one lady.
Her status, I guarantee you, is Caucasian. I guarantee you.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't vote color around here. I
It
did in the Obama
It
election.
ain't even. Hey,
I knew he wasn't from Chicago.
Hold on now. I'm
Even though
not
he was
talking about color.
misappropriated.
You talking about some color. I'm not talking about color. I'm talking about status.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, somebody said it earlier about voting color and not voting color. I did in the Obama election. I sure did. So I'm gonna vote for him because he's white. I mean, because he's
status.
Yeah.
So he wasn't. He can't.
But they said his bloodline was whatever.
Yeah, he's getting all of them. Shit. Yeah. So yeah.
Let's get to the poll question. But that was awesome. I thought that was awesome. Man, I thought that was awesome. Let's see.
There's a lot of energetic information. People can be opened up. Yeah, some downloads people are going to take in from this experience.
Well, right now, according to this poll, and they're not counting on us because, the women outnumbered and These are people out from, I suspect, are blue states, quote unquote. 17% are saying go ahead and vote Harris right now. They flat out say vote Harris. I mean, it should be simple, right? Like if Harold Washington, rest his soul, was running, everybody would boom vote Harold Washington. You know what I mean? 33%, which is almost twice as many, are saying vote Trump. It's weird. That's weird. I can assure you, I didn't put that. I'm gonna tell everybody what I put. 50% said vote your conscience, best locally. 0 said you ain't black if you're not Dem. I think that's some progress.
Yeah, I think vote your conscience is a best choice, and some people have their decision made already.
Correct. Their conscience might be Harris. All 50% of their conscience could be Harris.
I mean, it could be. It could be all be, and we don't know.
Correct.
But I think that's the best from my point of view.
I agree.
Way to approach every election, no matter who's fucking voting, who you voting for. Pardon me.
Correct. But now how those responses, Self, imagine if 50% of those people said vote for Tory Wordsmith, and millions of people, Self, and then one of these parties lost the election. I'm telling you, bro, you'd have the power. But the power would probably corrupt you.
I'm gonna go and make a song. Tory Wordsmith for president.
Yeah, that's right. Why not?
And he's not even a citizen.
That's right. That's right. That is right. Put it on a t-shirt. People like t-shirts. You know what I mean?
Put it on everything, everywhere. Shit.
100%. 100.
Too funny.
All right. So as the virtual applause fades, we reflect on the groundbreaking moments of this Unfiltered Voices presidential debate. Can't went in. These are our everyday heroes, our teachers, our entrepreneurs, small business owners, activists, community organizers, artists. I can say they've left an indelible mark. Their unscripted Chicago passion, raw honesty, and unwavering commitment to change can redefine our political landscape. In the spirit of unity, we invite you to carry these voices forward. Let their stories inspire your civic engagement. Remember that the Republic thrives when we listen, learn, and lift one another up. Once again, thanks to all the guests and to you for being part of this transformative dialogue out there. Silence is violence. Until next time, keep questioning, keep dreaming, and keep exploring. Show some love to yourself and everyone around you. Remember, ask not what culture can do for you, but what you can do for culture. As always, question everything. The Self Love Show ain't Kansas, Dorothy. Peer down those rabbit holes. Do your own research. Use caution and discernment, because when you start staring at the abyss, well, the abyss starts staring right back at you. It's all within. Peace, self-love, honor, and respect. All right, we got the riddle. I know you were matriculating all show, Brother Wordsmith. You probably couldn't come up with it.
No, I didn't really have time to focus on it at all anytime because there was so much going on.
Asa Patterson said, yo, baby, yo, and then he says KSDR. What the hell does that mean?
You know what that means.
I don't know what the hell that means. Hey,
Kappa Ship Death Row.
All right, look at you. All right. I didn't, when you started, you're a little assistant, huh?
No, no, I just know what it means. I mean, I was there.
Just having some fun out there. And ironic. Let's see here. He said, "Come on, son. Well, your grandfather's over here holding you guys up. I'm gonna have a meeting with LOA later." Yeah. All right, let's see here. All right, we're getting to the riddle. That's what I was doing. All right, you guys. No one solved it, and I give Brother Wordsmith a pass because he was matriculating our show, and I have to 100% believe that that's the reason why he didn't come up with it. Let's see. I'm a debate where truth takes the stage, no pundits or shills, just voices engage. Everyday U.S. folks enraged and real, discussing the issues that matter they feel. Maybe it's this that's throwing them off. Keeps messing them up. All right. Who am I? I am a town meeting. Thought you was gonna get it, Self. Y'all had a lot of that going on about those migrants over there in your community. A town hall meeting. Yeah.
Those are useless out there.
Yeah, ChatGPT.
It's good video moments, but
show people that democracy is working.
It doesn't work out there. They'd be like, "Okay, we hear you, but we don't care. We're not going to do what you're talking about."
We got the police standing over here to lock you up if you do more than what you're doing.
Next, we'll listen. Oh, okay, that's how you feel. Next. Yeah.
All right. Next week, we're working on, we're going to get the women in here and do the same panel, y'all, next month. But next week, 187 bars, Self. Julio Folio. Rest it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to continue that series.
Not too soon.
No, it's not too soon. Sometimes you got to catch that wave. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to catch that wave, that algorithm. You know what I mean? Be a little, what do you call that? Algorithm whore, clout whore. You know, sometimes you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? The power corrupts. All right, here we go. And on Mouthpiece Included, that's our live stream on Sundays. Zeke, that's Isaiah Thomas. That's the original Isaiah Thomas. In the GOAT. Yeah, Zeke's Man Crush. We're doing we're going to break down where the Man Crush came from and how it evolved into hate for Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And we're going to be covering the Bears camp. Anybody could pull up. If you do pull up, do not forget.
Better not. Better not forget your mouthpiece, because shit. This ain't this format. You can get left all wet.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's muting, you know. You got Winnie in the butt. It's a whole nother story.
Yeah, you can get called a monkey on that show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not?
I mean, the respect is where your level's at.
I'll tell you what. They look at me, they want to call me the N-word Self, but they know who to pull that on. And those guys, those kids, they raised like this, and made them mumble, tell them how not to be men. Yeah, they pull that on them.
I don't see color.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. This brings me to my favorite part of the show, and that's Wordsmith's final words. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Man, I don't see color, because there's no such thing of black or white. White is all the colors combined, and black is the lack thereof. So tell me, who on this planet features that description? None of them. So it's significant in my description. In fact, depiction of the Democrats and the Republicans, because I'm not down with either one of them. I don't see them as helping men and women, the copper color version at all. Just crumbs from the table that happen to fall. So what we need to do is get together and pursue our means that we want to happen in our fondest dreams. Talk about it. Slip between the seams. And it ain't no leader. Every one of us a leader that proceed to do the best that we can every second that we can. And I don't care what you call yourself. This is about movement, improvement, how we do's it. And we don't have to agree about everything, but improvement of us all is where we have to stand. That's where we have to draw the line. That's the most important thing, and it ain't that hard to find. Other people's do it. That's why we should choose it. Because we help everybody else's cause, but we get left out when it's our turn. Pause. Did you hear that? We help everybody else's cause, but we get left out when it's our turn. Pause. I want you to completely hear. Tell you, Tory Wordsmith ain't got no fear. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I hope it give you a swift kick in the derriere, so we can get together and prepare to make what we want to happen. This matrix is waiting for us. I'm steady snapping. Words.
Words to the mother. Words to all the mothers out there. All the mothers and the babies' mothers and the mothers' mothers and mothers' mothers and the babies' mamas' mamas' mamas. All right, Karen, let's close this out. You know where we at. Kai Zodiac, y'all. This one's called Mean. Know Thyself. You know what's up? I'm gonna try something different. Basic. Desktop 2.
Uh-oh.
What are you looking at?
Desktop. Not sure what the.
Oh. What is that?
I don't think it's what you want.
All right, let's go back. Desktop 2. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, let's stop. Like, share, subscribe. Big ups to Midwest Festivals. And big up to Kai Zodiac, y'all. Support his channel. He's got great music.
Dope MC.
You're not getting sound, though. Share sound. It's ridiculous that you got to tell it that.
You know what that means?
Are you getting it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the video, man, it says a lot. You know what I mean?
Do you think you are the one? Honestly, I don't know. You know what that means? It's Latin. Means know thyself.
Know y'all selves, man. Vote for self. Bullets. Boomerang.
I will eat the right foods that I grow myself. Cause the wrong way stole my health. I'm glad to be me now and nobody else. Man, know thyself.
Stand your ground.
The right foods that I grow myself. Cause the wrong way stole my health. I'm glad to be me now and nobody else. Yo, here I go again to code all the scriptures. Potions and elixirs. Hope you get the picture. Frame it right, say goodnight, folks are getting sicker. Choking on their liver. Hope that I delivered. Closing all the ministers, asking no attorneys. I spoke it under me, tongue that baffled all the clergy. My soul is like a living drummer, mastering the earthly. I wasn't in their lessons and they passes never heard me. I'm out of the curriculum, like the Merovingian, righteous ghetto Indian, Asiatic gentleman, raised to have a simple sin. Neophytes and Hierophants, cardinals and bishops, marches with their fists up, vision nation battles, steady arches with their wrists up. Limits for the stick up, kids storm for a stick up. I came to elevate the world, my heart would never give up. My mind forever focused, there's a time for every lotus. Until it's yours, we break it and keep shining so they notice. They say the student's ready, so the teacher appears. Cause he was always there, you just didn't see he was here. It's time to make the people aware. Time to make the people aware. Man, know thyself.
Question
I will eat the right
everything.
foods that I grow myself. Cause the wrong way stole my health. I'm glad to be me now and nobody else.
And forgiveness.
Man, know thyself.
His
I will
love
eat the
has
right foods that I grow
vibration.
myself.
So do something charitable for a so-called enemy and try to amend the
My
beat.
lyrics come and see if you can hear it. You never die when you breathe in the Holy Spirit. Swine ain't divine to
We
people,
know
they
for
won't
sure
connect
hurt
with.
people
Salad
gonna
bar,
try to
spitting
hurt
at your average
people.
hard here to bring you back to God center, just like Master Far sent you. The end ain't always happy like a back
Free
massage
Larry
stripper.
Hoover.
Bring it back to stars,
Free all
Mr.
the
Zodiac,
guys,
a law picture like a pillar in
Prison
the
is
canopy. I'm
slavery.
glad our hearts differ. Unique and all expressing this a classic art picture for the homies feeling lonely with a rather large dinner. Sitting at the bar with another glass of hard liquor, give a toast. If existing blowing smokes, my prescription. Reality's a casualty when folks live in fiction. Holy hope for permission from the post. Intermission, this is broken inhibition.
Hey, bro. Every week, that boy gets smaller.
Study ancient history, paging all pagans, calling all sages, wall-to-wall haters in the temple of the mental. This is all a false matrix, hoping that the Lord save us, bringing back our pure status. Our pure status. Man, know thyself. I will eat the right foods that I grow myself. Cause the wrong way stole my health. I'm glad to be